From Champaign, Illinois, this is the Jumping the Rail podcast with your hosts Mark Redmond and Mike Nargelinas.
And welcome to episode 18 of the Jumping the Rail podcast from Champaign, Illinois. This is Mark Redmond, and I was supposed to be joined by my buddy Mike Nargelinas. Apparently, it's his younger brother Ezekiel Nargelinas this week. Narg, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. We got our special tag team partner rocking the Dollywood t-shirt I see this week. Kyler, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Get yourself out of the hot water a little bit there.
No, he got into it.
He did.
He's swimming in it.
He'll be all right. We got a good show
Dwayne.
this week. So what
We
a
see you,
surprise,
brother.
Man! Dwayne, are you just sitting
was
there
the
waiting?
first one.
Hey, man, it notifies people on Facebook. So what we should be asking is, why the fuck the rest of you ain't already on?
We got a
Where have you been?
couple already.
So we got a good show. We had an awesome weekend of wrestling to talk about this past few days. Obviously, Wrestlemania happened. We're going to talk about that quite a bit. We're going to get into the collective a little bit with GCW, Ring of Honor. But the big thing, we got a guest calling in a little bit later on. Narge, you want to fill everybody in?
Yeah, GCW standout, guy that did quite a bit at the collective this weekend, including wrestling Tully Blanchard's newest acquisition, Brian Cage. That is going to be Ninja Kamikaze Mack.
Ninja Mack. He's one of the guys, he's really impressed me in GCW since we started watching, so I think that's going to be a fun chat.
Oh yeah, he's really stood out quite a bit. So he's got all the moves, man, all the charisma and the moves. Not only we had a busy weekend, not only WrestleMania, not only the collective. We went and saw Chris Jericho on Saturday night, and he tore the house down in Aurora. That was an absolute blast. I want to say thanks to everybody that came out. It was my birthday on Friday, and we celebrated it Saturday in Aurora with, like I said, Chris Jericho and his band Fozzy. A couple other great opening bands that the producer Marco really enjoyed, and some of our other friends, GFM, and the Nocturnal Affair, I believe, was the other band. So all very talented
they were great.
folks.
Yeah, it was a good show all around. We went up for that. It was obviously Fozzy just burned the place down. It was awesome. It was cool for me being there because I used to live up there, and I didn't realize that's a place I used to go to all the time, but they changed the name and renovated a little bit, so that was a fun surprise for me. Yeah, I wish I brought my giant mug with me, but...
Oh, we now see you, Menders. It wasn't that you just weren't there.
I'm not sure the bartenders or the waitresses up there would have known what to do with that giant mug that you had.
Probably not.
Beyond the help there, that was a little questionable. So
yeah, I think they brought. I think there were a lot of subs working on Saturday. I think they were planning for. They tried to overstaff just for the turnout,
just in case. Yeah,
but regardless, it was a good show. All the bands were really good. Fozzy was great. Obviously, Jericho was within spitting distance of us a couple times. Narge,
a couple times right there.
Within, didn't you get spit on?
I did not.
Oh, okay, I did.
And he was definitely in show mode. I tried to get his attention a couple of times. I was multitasking during the show, so I was
we both were
watching the show.
I was peering over your shoulder at your phone.
Yeah, we had Mania pulled up on the phone so we wouldn't miss it.
Yeah. It was awesome. There were a handful of people doing the same thing scattered through the crowd during the show.
That's what was funny. I told Kyler that. I said every time I'd pop, I'd turn around, there'd be 4 or 5 others, and everybody's pointing at their phone like, "Did you see that?" So
I would say a good 40% of the crowd there were wrestling fans who showed up because it was Jericho, not music fans. I would say,
which is something I tried to sell a local music venue here in town for years on.
Right.
Was, hey, not only would he bring out a rock crowd, he would bring out, a pro wrestling fan base. So,
although it kind of bothered me that after we started posting about it, I had people, well, who's that? What's that band? I'm like, we've been talking about it. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, did you not see any of the videos I posted? Come on now.
All right, so let's get into the elephant in the room, and that's WrestleMania, Narge. We're not going to get into all of it.
Was that this weekend?
That was this past weekend. But Let's start with night one. I was expecting night one to be kind of a stinker, like going into the weekend, just because everything that they'd had announced. But overall, I think that might have been the better of the nights overall.
Hands down, better of the 2 nights. I think just more surprises, in-ring work, just everything. Except for maybe the person who's saying America the Beautiful. We could have swapped Jesse James for Brantley, but
where's Tom Jones when you need him?
We could have just forgotten Brantley entirely. Holy crap, that was horrible.
yeah, I saw it. I got to watch the replay today. And
This is the world I actually know about, his music, and that sucked. That was horrible.
I think he'd have done better had he not his 2 backup singers. They were kind of cutting over him a little bit. There were a couple times
chewing
where,
up the scenery a little bit.
Yeah,
There was a lot of off-key stuff going on, though.
and I don't think they needed him. So.
The little girl doing next night actually did okay.
Jesse James.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with her, but
Jesse James,
was-
what's her last name?
Decker, her husband,
that's
Eric
it.
Decker,
Decker,
who
yeah.
played in the
That's it,
NFL.
yeah.
So.
that makes sense. Plays for the Rams, right?
Yeah, she had good pipes on
Might
her.
have been.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did a good job on key, which is all you can really hope for. No, didn't jazz it up too much. But as far as the show goes, I know what you were most looking forward to, Narge, was the rattlesnake coming out in the main event, and we were watching with no audio during the concert, and all of a sudden we saw the face change during the interview.
Yep.
He got that old dad look going like he was going to whoop somebody. Then all of a sudden we see a referee run down, and we're like, wait, what's going on?
And that may have been the biggest pop of the night once we realized that there was an actual match happening.
Right.
So
First time the referee's ever gotten the biggest pop of the night. But a good match. I mean, Austin doesn't quite have the gas that he had in his prime.
no, that V8's maybe about a 4-cylinder now, but he was still churning out the miles out there. I mean, he took some bumps that for a guy who retired because of his neck, I didn't expect to see him take a suplex on the concrete.
No.
Hey, at least the next night he had beer with everybody. Or on everybody.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee may still be drinking his beer
I think
on the
so. side
of the ring. So
I think, like I said, he got waterboarded by beer.
if there was a happier person in Dallas Stadium on Sunday than Pat, you'd be hard pressed to find it.
him, yeah.
I think
Maybe
Yeah.
Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, that's true.
The
Johnny-
Knoxville match to me, and I mean, of course, Mr. Wrestling right here, but that was the most fun I'd had in a long time watching WWE. He brought out every single stunt, and what was it I saw? One of us somebody posted the meme,
the hand?
No, the little
Wee Man.
MMA guy? No, but the MMA guy.
Oh,
who said,
McGregor.
Who said something about, and they said, well, that's because Hornswoggle, who's about your size, wasn't
he said
available
they,
or
He
something.
said they didn't book McGregor because they were afraid of him. Then Finley had to kind of put him in his place.
Dwayne, Vince didn't sell anything to me except the idea that plastic surgery not as good as it could be.
No, Vince sold the stunner. He just didn't take a good stunner.
From what I read, somebody said they think it was Lance Storm actually that Vince was so hyped to take a good stunner, he forgot that there was a kick beforehand to
Right.
set up for it because it looked like he was leaning in to take it.
Right.
And so when Steve kicked him, he dropped down. Steve saved it, but did you get to see the reaction video Mick Foley posted?
I did not.
Oh, I guess Noelle or her son says the hardest he's laughed in years.
I was kind of wondering if he was slipping on the beer.
That's
why
possible.
he lost his footing.
He looked good though, didn't he?
He did. Man, I didn't expect it because he walks like a frail old fart sometimes. But he looked like, I think I said it during the shots, he looked like Jack LaLanne out there with the big guns. And credit to Austin Theory also for the best sell of the stunner over the weekend.
That looked all. Yeah,
Did
they
the
did a
old-
great job.
Did the old Scott Hall treatment.
Mindy, this is a PG-13 show.
I see it.
All right. Well, Kyler, I'm going to ask you, what was the highlight of WrestleMania for you?
I told you they were going to ask you that, didn't I?
Do you have an answer?
Yes.
Did you study?
Study guides. Who needs study guides?
All right.
All right, kiddo. Let us know.
Probably the starting match of the night 2.
That
You
was
like the three-way?
I told you not to steal that. That's mine.
Go ahead, talk it up, man. Tell us
Yep.
why.
You better have a reason though.
I liked Gable Stevenson or whatever coming out at the end. That was
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was cool they let him get physical a little bit with Gable.
How much WrestleMania did you pay attention to this weekend between playing on your phone, Kyler?
I actually paid a lot of I didn't do anything
In Kyler's defense, he had to entertain another small child at the time too, so he might
I
have
think
been
it was the other way around. Actually, I think
it
the
was
4-year-old was babysitting
somewhat
him.
mutual there.
I agree with him though. I could care less about Gable Steveson. I felt like there was too much Gable Steveson love fest night 1 and 2.
I wouldn't have done both nights.
No, one night that should have been enough, or saved him for Raw. We didn't get him at all at Raw, but I did. I think my favorite match of the whole
He
weekend.
had class.
Huh?
Maybe he had class.
Yeah, it's true. Well, and I guess he's a part. I don't know if you saw this. We'll move on from it. I guess he's a part of some Me Too movement thing too. He
Really?
was accused of rape in college, but got off on a technicality, and this is just now starting to come out. And I googled it. It was him and another guy. There's a girl at a party, some sort of deal. She got intoxicated, and apparently it's a technicality in Minnesota law where if she was intoxicated, it something about what is it when you say yes?
It's neither one can give
Consent.
consent. If you're inebriated, you can't give consent. But if both parties are inebriated, how can you hold either one accountable? Is the whole rule, right?
And that was kind of, from what I understand, the backstory with Gable Steveson. So I'm sure WWE didn't want that to come out.
I'm sure they've done their due diligence.
but they've done some. Yeah, usually they try to do their homework on these sort of things.
Yeah.
But I agree with him. That match was probably my favorite match of the whole weekend from an in-ring standpoint. Just absolutely impressed with the athleticism of all 6 guys in there.
Yeah.
And you and I talked about it. Montez Ford is just, he's main event.
He'll be the guy
he will,
before it's all said and done. But I was waiting for that Street Profits heel turn, though, on Sunday.
It's got to come at some point. I was hoping there at the end, with
When
the
they're doing
cups and stuff. I think so.
Slip him a Mickey, and then... so the other... I mean, aside from the main event, the other match I was really looking forward to on night 2 was Edge and AJ. It was okay. It could have been a lot better, if you ask me. It seemed like, I know we were talking, our buddy Keith Gibson was with us on Sunday watching, and we all kind of agreed the pace just seemed off in that match.
Yeah, it reminded me, like I said, of the AJ Nakamura match we got at Mania a couple years back. It's one I was hyped for,
Right.
And again, that pace, it just never felt like it got off the starting blocks. It was just real slow. AJ hit his head on the way out.
Yeah,
and busted himself open.
AJ had a better match with the WrestleMania sign than he did with Edge on Sunday.
Well, he still had more energy. Edge just didn't seem to have it.
Yeah, Edge.
I think Edge was in heel mode. I think he was trying to work like a heel instead of working like Edge.
Yeah, because there are times where Edge can go, balls to the wall, and then there's other times where he does that. I'd save that slow stuff for somewhere else. It's WrestleMania.
Save it for the ballroom dance floor.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was working slow because he isn't used to working AJ. You put him with somebody like a Cena or an Orton, then it's a different Edge.
Definitely could be. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it's cool. We got the Damian Priest walkout. It looks like we're going to be doing a faction with Edge and Priest and possibly more people. Looks like we might be getting a Rhea Ripley sighting in there.
Brody King called him House of Black, or Wish's version of House of Black.
Yeah.
So people jumped all over Brody King for that.
Only difference is the WWE's House of Black can cut a promo.
What?
I'd take Edge over.
Cuts a great
I'll take
promo.
Edge over Malachi any day in the promo department.
This little group, though, I think Rhea Ripley, I think she set herself up for that last night. We're going to get her and Liv next week for the belts, and then Liv will lose again.
We'll go split ski, and
that's done. And I mentioned to you, and somebody I didn't share it with you, a report followed up that Ciampa could be a very viable 4th option for this group. So
yeah. I think we threw out a few names. Talked about Dijakovic, get T-Bar in there maybe as the heater. I wouldn't say Keith Lee if he was still there because that's the kind of thing they would have put him in for if he was there. But no, that was a good match. The main event. Let's get into the main event a little bit before we get to our guest, where we're still waiting on him.
Main event night 2?
Night 2.
Yeah.
Roman and Brock. Roman looked like he was hurt. If you looked at his arm, number one, very, very bruised.
Yeah.
And I could tell not only on Sunday when he was holding the belts up at the end, if you watched him last night, whenever he would hold that belt up, you could see him in his face. He was hurting.
Yeah,
just even lifting that belt over his head.
That Kimura, I think, Brock may have put it on a little harder than he thought. So I saw some shots the next day of his shoulder, just the upper area where it was, popping out. Yeah. I hope this doesn't, I'm not sure where this leads. I know he didn't do much last night, cut a promo.
Right. They said they're going to do more on Friday.
So curious to see where that goes. Who do you think's next in line if he does?
Well, if they're talking on SmackDown, it's got to be I'm thinking Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, McIntyre had a good showing.
Corbin and McIntyre had a great match on night one. The cutting the ropes in half with the sword was a little much for me. I mean, it looked cool, but third match on the card isn't the time
to run. Yeah, to destroy the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who else. I haven't really given it much thought until we just discussed it now, but there's got to be somebody else in line for, I mean, Drew makes sense because he's a name.
Yeah, former champion. They haven't really had their run since Roman's been the champion.
Yeah, no, it's true. And that's the problem. I don't feel like SmackDown's really built anybody else up, though.
No, I don't think so. I think it'd have to be maybe if Braun Breaker comes up, he'll go to SmackDown.
Could be. Him winning the belt last night was an odd choice after having him lose Saturday. So, and I heard it was an audible. I heard it was something called the plan was for Ziggler to win again because they even showed a promo for NXT after the match with Dolph with the belt. So, from what I understand, there was an audible called by Vince, which isn't unusual by any means. So, we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. Well, tonight, actually, on SmackDown. If anybody watches, maybe pipe in the comments and let us know.
Tonight's NXT.
That's what I said.
You said SmackDown.
Oh, yeah, NXT. That's what I meant.
We were just talking about
a very long weekend, and I'm still coming off a lot of alcohol.
I think all of us were just completely worn out. Between Friday and Sunday, I don't think we stopped for more than a few hours to recharge.
No, I've slept in the last 2 days, actually. Dwayne wants to know how soon before we see Cody Rhodes in the title picture. And Dwayne, it's not bad. The thing for me is he's going to be on the Raw title picture, but there's so many big names on Raw that I think there has to be a draft soon, a shakeup.
It could be a shakeup. I think that there's still business with Cody and Rollins after last night.
Oh, yeah.
When Seth came out after Cody's promo.
And why didn't you correct me? I didn't even think, but quit kicking me, Kyler. Kyler's kicking me, playing footsie with me under the table.
He's trying to get himself over.
Well, I forgot we have a unified champ.
Yeah,
so it doesn't matter.
No, Roman can go to both shows.
Yeah, so that doesn't necessarily have to be Drew. It could be Cody.
Right. I'm just saying since Roman's going to go out and talk on Friday, I'm thinking someone from SmackDown is going to step up.
Or they swerve us.
Or it could be a swerve. Always looking for that swerve, aren't you, Marge?
Well, yeah, and that's I always hope for that. With Rollins last night coming out shaking his hand, I'm kind of wondering. You think there's more business? I'm just wondering if that was kind of all right. I'll see you down the road.
That could be.
And then maybe we get Cody out on SmackDown. I don't know. I think they're all in on Cody. They're ready.
I don't think they've said which show he's going to be on.
No, not necessarily. He cut. We'll talk main event, but then I want to talk Cody promo.
I wonder if Cody's got the Brock deal where he can go to both shows.
And I mean that's the thing. Since they haven't said, is he a Raw guy or they're just there to
Right.
So, there's a lot to be
digested here.
Figured out.
I was hoping for more last night. Usually the Wrestlemania is a bigger show. It just felt like another Raw to me. It was decent. There was some things to shake your head at, but there were a few good things. The False Count Anywhere match was really good with, or not False Count, the Texas Tornado Profits and Alpha match was really good.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, that was good. And again, those four guys putting in solid work. Like my wife had pointed out, she just felt like everything was rushed last night a little bit. Mm-hmm. Cody came out and then they rushed everything. I had a big problem with Dominic getting beaten 40 seconds.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I get why.
Right.
But it seems like they're just feeding the Mysterios to people they're jobbing them out left and right now. So
yeah, we didn't talk about the biggest story on WWE, which is that Veer is here.
They finally sent Veer.
Yep, and he whooped on some Mysterios, and looks like he's going to have a match with Ray next week.
From what I understand, Live said that place went nuts for him. You couldn't tell on the TV, he said, but the pop was there for him, and he looked good. I thought he looked.
Well, we saw him on Raw. Main event, I guess, when we went to the Raw in Indianapolis, and he looked good in the ring then.
Yeah, he's not missing any steps in there. He's got a believable look. I would change the music. I think they rely too heavily with the Indian professional wrestlers. They rely too heavily on that music and look at Kali, look at Mahal. It fits right into that.
I do need to point out, my wife liked the music.
Did she?
She did, and she thought his beard was glorious.
His beard was glorious. He had a very Kimbo Slice like beard.
Very lustrous. You know.
that music, I don't know. It's just the second I hear it, I think Great Khali. I always will. Doesn't matter who has it. But
at least he is a native of India. He's not just some schmo they put out like Chief J Strongbow, dress him up like a chief, and give him, even though he's an Italian from New Jersey.
Right? Yeah. Well, and then a lot of people probably don't know this. Veer was in his life was a major motion picture.
Yeah, $1 Million Arm. He was he got a chance to be a pitcher for the Pirates organization several years ago.
What was he playing? Cricket, right?
He was a cricket. Yeah. I don't know what they call the pitchers in cricket, but then John Hamm found him, and they went
to Hollywood.
But looks like Marco's back from his pit stop.
Dwayne's on here saying they need to get rid of the draft. They do, Dwayne. If you were here last week for my story,
I agree with that. Yeah.
I said they needed to get rid of the brand extension altogether. Which,
yeah.
We're halfway there, baby. You got one belt, so we got one because the Intercontinental and the U.S. title don't matter anymore. They didn't even get defended at WrestleMania.
With one world champion, they have a chance to really make that change and make those mean something else. But with last night with Balor doing the favors for Theory, I think Theory's on the cusp of getting the championship.
He's gonna have gold real soon.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Dwayne, I see Cody didn't have the huge pop that last night that he had at WrestleMania. I didn't think he would. I mean,
wasn't he kind of a surprise at WrestleMania in some form?
That would worst kept secret right? in the business at WrestleMania.
But still, it was considered a surprise.
Yeah. But
I agree. The pot again. Another. I think it's Ryan Satin who works for. He's an online journalist. He works for WWE. Said though, it didn't come across. May not came across on TV, similar as Veer, but the pop was there. But I agree. But just even looking at the crowd, everybody on the rails, just kind of standing there, kind of like here's Cody
jumping the rails.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, and what's going to happen here? He's the fancy new toy. Give it 6 months, and they'll be throwing his weight belt back in the ring like the AEW fans. So.
I did like that they gave him time yesterday
to talk.
They really gave him time to get to say his piece, and I thought it was cool that he started the same way he started his first AEW promo.
Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about?
Let's segue that to we were discussing briefly AEW. Is there a response with Cody jumping back to the WWE? I think Mark earlier you were sort of on the no crowd, and Mike, I think you're kind of on the yeah crowd. What do y'all think?
I'm definitely on the yay crowd.
What do you think will happen?
I think Wednesday's Dynamite is gonna get the Raw after Mania effect. To be honest, and I'm going way out here. I know it's kind of become it happens all the time. We get new faces. I really think we see Bray Wyatt Wednesday night. He's the only response that makes any sense.
You think they'll announce him as being part of AEW?
Or he'll show up. Yeah, so then all that talk
right.
about Cody is gone, and now people are talking about Bray Wyatt.
I wish The Rock wasn't so fucking loyal, because that'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know about if anybody's going to show up, which it is possible, you never know. But from what I've seen, they've stacked that card on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
They got the big one I'm looking forward to is the Bucks and FTR. And from what they said after the Super Card of Honor, that's going to be for both the AAA and the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships.
You think we get to see the Briscoes?
I don't think so. Warner Media won't allow it.
I'm hearing Impact is ready to sign them full time.
As they should.
Yeah. The only reason I ask is, the Bucks obviously came out, super kicked them. Which, why not come out and super kick FTR? So.
Well, FTR was already out of the ring.
I'm saying you watch it. I read it.
Yeah,
I was busy.
Like FTR won, they did the handshake, then FTR gave them the ring to kind of take their bow a little bit, and they left. And after they were up the ramp, the Bucks came in from behind,
and that's what leads me to believe that maybe we get to see the Briscoes. I would hope Warner Media would bend a little bit.
I think that's more likely to happen in Ring of Honor than AEW.
Could be. I mean, the fact that we never got Briscoes and FTR and AEW leads me to believe that Warner Media has more. Yeah.
Minder says FTR and Briscoes was so good. It fucking right it was. I think when December rolls around, that's going to be on my 10 nominees for Match of the Year, and I'm calling it now because it was just. I don't know if you.
I haven't had a chance to watch the whole thing, but from all the reports I read, it was up there with all the expectations.
The whole show was just a banger. They had Gresham and Bandito was a great match. Unified the world title.
Gresham got the win.
Then Lethal came out and tuned him up a little bit. Him and Sanjay Dutt.
Yeah.
And then that brought out the man. They brought Samoa Joe made his surprise appearance.
And he will be there. So, yeah,
He'll
he'll be
be
there
on-
Wednesday night.
Maybe that's the response.
Maybe that is the response, yeah.
Or a response. I don't know if it's as big a response as Cody would be.
Yeah. Again, that's why I said the only person big out there that's a free agent to me is Bray Wyatt.
He is
He's
definitely the biggest free agent in the business right now.
And he had us thinking he was going to he something this weekend, and
Yeah.
he didn't do a
He
darn
had,
thing.
He had us going. No, he was at WrestleCon, I think. But
Was he?
Yeah, he didn't show up at any of the events.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't have been surprised if he would have been the surprise against Rollins. But
Well, being there Saturday at the Fozzy show when the lights went out, we were watching.
Yeah,
and
and
all the phones
the
were out, like
lighters.
the fireflies and
Right.
stuff.
The
I was
first-
like, oh, they got us.
at first the lights were down, I thought Taker.
Right.
Then the lighters came out, and I thought, oh, it might be Bray. And then, sure enough, here comes.
The adrenaline inside, or whatever the hell it is. It sings.
What about the presentation of the show for the home viewer?
Which show?
The WrestleMania,
I
the
thought-
big show.
Well, we were talking about 4 different shows.
Right,
The
on, right.
first-
I'm talking about the big show.
I thought it was great. I
Yeah?
thought they did a great job with.
What about the weird 3D characters that look like 1993's Xbox graphics type of thing?
I'm
whatever
okay.
year it
I'm
was.
okay with it because it's just for the TV audience.
Right.
It's not like they're not doing holograms like Tupac during the show.
But I think a hologram would look better.
Although I did say this to my wife yesterday when they were showing like the little bumper for Edge to show up.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what they need to do every time Edge cuts a promo, it should be just a hologram of his face hovering above the ring. Because it just, number one, it would just make me laugh. But
Yeah.
number two, it'd look creepy as hell if it was
Kind of like the old Matt Hardy hologram above the
Yeah, like Vanguard 1.
Vanguard, yes. For me, I don't like those. I get like
Right.
what Mark's point. For me, I would rather see more elaborate stage entrance. I feel like we lacked that we used to get Triple H every year in a big entrance. New Day came out of a giant cereal box. Like, we don't get it. We didn't get any of that, really. We got Cody popping out of the stage. I mean,
Edge had the best entrance of the whole weekend.
Yeah.
With that throne coming up and out of the fire. And
that was cool.
awesome.
I did like that. I really wish they would have brought Gangrel out, even just for that. For
Just
him
for
to
that.
stand up there and then go
Yeah.
back into the stage. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd
What
have been
about
cool.
like you see in a lot of sports things? I mean, you got the wrestler coming out, right? And they're doing this weird 3D image of the wrestler, right?
Right.
What about throwing up as like his stat sheet or his bio sheet on the side with an image of him or her and some of their more notable stuff, just so
They
when people
do
see
that
it.
on Raw, actually.
Do they? Okay.
But they used to do it on SmackDown years ago.
Yeah.
A lot of that.
And they kind of do it on AEW. They show the record and like
Yeah.
this inconsequential little factoid about them on
Usually
each
something
one.
funny.
Something
Yeah.
stupid. Something that makes no sense. But
I think overall, though, if we had to talk Mania both nights, again, I don't like 2 nights. I'd rather it be an all day thing. I get it. It's a lot of matches. It's a lot of you want people to have their moments. For me, I was entertained, and that's really all I can ask for.
right, I definitely think this was the best of the 2-night WrestleManias so far.
Oh, I agree with that.
I mean, the one in the PC doesn't really like it. I'm not gonna say it doesn't count, but I mean, it's so hard to pull that off well with no fans in the crowd.
Well, they had that. Then last year they had the rain delay, and they
Right.
had all of that. And
Actually,
then
I really liked the rain delay because then everybody had to cut the promos like just off the top of their heads. It wasn't scripted and it seemed very organic.
just to keep it, but unfortunately they didn't stick with that going forward. But the in-ring work, you had some fun. You had some good in-ring. You had some surprises. You couldn't ask for much else. Brock and Roman, I didn't really get a pipe in a little bit other than him being hurt, but I thought it was a dud. I mean, out of all their matches they've had, this was supposed to be the best one, and I just didn't feel like it was that.
I think the shoulder injury hampered. I think they had to go home early. But yeah, it just seemed like another Brock Roman match to me.
Yeah.
There's although Brock did add belly to belly suplexes though, not just the Germans. So it was a little different. But
Brock smiled a lot more than I thought he would. I've usually seen him pretty intense.
Brock is having the time of his life right now. He seems really enjoying what they're doing.
I liked him giving his own entrance. Announcing himself was fantastic.
That was great. That was great. So, I think if you guys are ready, we have a special guest joining us.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and admit him into the
All right.
conversation if you want to start the introductions.
All right. So we are joined by a very bright young talent from Game Changer Wrestling. Just made his Ring of Honor debut this past weekend, and we're all very excited to welcome Ninja Mack in. How you doing, man? Hello.
There he is.
Hey, how's it going?
We can't hear him because...
Uh-oh.
There we go. Try that again. Sorry about that.
Hey, can you hear us?
Hey, what's going on, Rick?
There he is.
Hey, how you doing? Our
I'm
producer
doing
is so
good. How
fired.
y'all doing today, serious? Give me one.
There we go.
All
He
right.
went back on mute.
Oh. All right. You hear us?
There you are.
Damn, there we are. How y'all doing today?
Oh, we're great. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Is this just audio, not video?
Yeah, just audio. We
Oh,
haven't.
perfect.
We're still
checking.
new. We haven't got all the technology.
We
up
all
for the
have
video.
faces for radio. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm sorry about. I took a minute trying to find the link to the call in. I'm sorry. It took me a minute to get here.
Oh, no
We're
worries.
good. It's right on time, actually. 6:30, like we
Hey,
wanted.
you were quicker than Cologne was when he was on. he was,
He
he
had,
was
he
about,
had
he was about an hour
technical
late.
difficulties.
Hey, ninja skills. I'll be just like a minute late if anything.
Oh yeah.
I think he was a time zone confused is what it was.
I think that might have been part of it too. So you had a hell of a weekend. How are you feeling after all that wrestling this past few days?
You know, I'm feeling really good. I've calloused my body. I've trained hard. A little bruised from my ass whipping on Ring of Honor from Brian Cage, but that's nothing unexpected from a monster of that size. And when you get to competition at that level, so
Yeah.
besides that, everything was good. But feeling good. Ready to get over to Japan.
Awesome. So we're gonna start. We always ask the same question to open every interview. What got you into pro wrestling? Like, how long have you been a fan for?
All right. Are we live right now, or are
Oh,
we
yeah,
just going over this?
Oh, we're live. We're on Facebook Live right now.
You're
Very live.
Hey, welcome Wrestling World. Y'all want to make a bet with Ninja Mack? Yeah, I've always loved pro wrestling. I'm from a wrestling family, but more of an amateur wrestler. I guess I'm the oldest of 7, and I had a bunch of younger siblings. So when I'm watching WWF growing up, I'm beating up my younger brothers and sisters at home, practicing the moves. And I mean, I guess that would be the start of my wrestling fandom, watching WWF and WCW as a young kid and being able to practice cane choke slams and RVD frog splashes, Stone Cold Stunners on my parents' bed.
So, who was your guy growing up? Like, who was your favorite guy to watch?
Oh man, it's not a lot of people's favorite, but Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. But Chris Benoit was definitely someone that was just something I was attracted to. The physicality. He did it all. He could throw people. He could do a little bit of high flying. He had a good look. He was aggressive. So.
Oh yeah, I remember when he first popped up in WCW, and the same deal. I was kind of the same way. Just he didn't seem like working his style really, except for maybe the Dynamite Kid. But yeah. So we have a super fan with us that's probably going to have a few questions for you, if that's all right.
Yeah,
So,
bring on the bet from the super fan. I'm always ready.
all right. So this is
How much they want to wager tonight?
as much as his dad will let him. So this is Kyler. He's 10 years old. He's kind of our unofficial third man in the booth every now and then. And
For sure.
so Kyler, you got anything you want to ask?
I have one question to ask.
I might have one answer for you, young sir. What's going on?
Has there ever been a match and a crazy move that you have been like, hey, that's not really for me?
With as much work as I do for GCW, at the moment, I would have to say death matches are not for Ninja Mack. And I would like to say death matches are not for Ninja Mack, not to not do them, but for the safety of the other wrestlers.
There you go. Yeah.
I believe that is the right answer. Yeah,
Kyler, are there
Yeah.
any moves you won't do?
Almost every single one.
Just to give the insight, I mean, not only the death matches, but with the light tubes, I think I could bring a whole new element to death matches, because I don't know if you know anything about ninjas, but I got a lot of ninja stars. I got ninja swords. I got a lot of ninja weapons that they don't bring to these death matches. So that's something that would keep them safe. But I mean, you know, those death matches can get very scary, and I just don't like the light tubes, the glass.
You know,
Very very interesting to do the glass matches.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, and we're huge GCW fans. My son here, super fan. We got to meet you up at Hoffman Estates, the show before you guys did Hammerstein, and he got to meet you after the show, and he's been a fan ever since. You took a couple of minutes out of your time to sit and chat with him and take a picture. So being a dad, I want to say thanks for that. Anytime you're on TV, Kyler's like, "Oh, is Ninja Mack on the show tonight?" So we appreciate that. So, but he didn't get to see as much of you this weekend as we wanted to. Unfortunately, we weren't around. We went to see Chris Jericho this weekend, but I was just looking down damn, you were busy this weekend.
Yeah, it wasn't. I wouldn't say I did the most matches. Mike Speedball Bailey and I think Blake Christian, those two guys hammered out some matches this weekend. Those guys were great, but I did a good handful. I want to say I did 7 this weekend.
Yeah, that looks about right. GCW, you wrestled AR Fox. You were in the Clusterfuck. Yo-Ya, the 7-Way Scramble. What else here? You were
Did Ring of
ROH.
Honor for
Yeah.
Brian Cage, same
then-
hour as the World on Lucha. That was very interesting.
Oh, same hour. Oh, wow. So, yeah, you're double duty. And then you got to wrestle Nick Wayne, who everybody's talking about lately. So,
It was
crazy.
it was a good weekend. And then on Sunday night for VIP, my last match, I actually finished at midnight with Matt Cross. So it was a very good weekend. Very some high profile matches, a lot of good work. I got a lot of good clips in and a lot of views this weekend already. And I know that Bloodsport kick is already trending. So that thing is a thing of beauty.
Yeah. Hey, how many views are you up to on that power bomb from Gringo off the top rope that was going around the last few weeks?
That thing, that 8-second clip on Instagram just passed 3 million views.
Wow.
So I think, in total, we're getting close to 4 million on all platforms. But just that finish on the Instagram just passed 3 million views today. Actually sent Gringo a picture of that 3 million pass, and I had to, even though he's whooping my ass in the video, I had to tell him thank you because even if I'm getting my ass whooped, I don't think I've made that many views in a clip before. So
Nice. Yeah, we got Gringo coming on here in a couple of weeks, and we're looking forward to that. But
that'll be a lot of fun. That guy's great.
yeah, he's one of those. You, Gringo, you mentioned Mike Bailey. All you guys, GCW gets all the deathmatch talk around, but all you guys like the technicians and the strong style. That's the stuff that really drew me to it. And watching you guys just go hold for hold and strike for strike just is really cool to watch. And I'm thinking back to the match you had with Bailey, and you took the bump off of, I guess you call it the ceiling. I mean, it was like the ledge.
The ledge in the Ukrainian Cultural Center.
Yeah, I mean, who pitches that, and why did you say yes?
It's hard to say who pitches it. I really, in my head, Mike Bailey coming back after being gone, and he's such a high level competitor. And with me being a gambling ninja, I really wanted to raise the stakes. And how much more can you raise the stakes when you put yourself on a platform 20 feet higher than an audience, let them pull out the cameras, and see you can Mortal Kombat fight each other to the death.
Right.
So just like a lot of my matches, it's kind of like you feel it. I feel the crowd and the energy they're giving me. I wanted to give it back to them. And Los Angeles has always been so good to me for GCW, and they treat me so well there. I really just wanted to raise the stakes for them, and it only felt right to do a Mortal Kombat take and fight scene, 20 feet up in the air to really capture that audience.
Oh yeah, and if there's one thing you get from the audience in GCW is energy. I mean, at the few shows that we've been to up there, it's just like a nonstop just wave of energy from the crowd. They're just behind everything, and it's awesome to see.
Oh, it's something magical. GCW definitely has some magic behind them with those fans.
Kyle, you got any other thoughts?
Nope.
We're gonna open it up to the everybody in the thread. They got some questions coming in too. Let's see. Minders, I see, asks, who would be your dream match?
I'd like to say Daniel Bryan to get into. He was a very big influential decision on me going to Noah, just because I saw some of his matches growing up to Noah, and then he's just another guy that can do it all. And with that level of competition, it makes me better to be able to go against someone at that level. And I'm just trying to be the best I can be. So Daniel Bryan's a very good answer.
Oh yeah, that'd be a hell of a match. Let's see who else we got.
Dwayne wants to know: Are you a martial artist, or is that just a gimmick? And that's Dwayne, so you can yell at Dwayne.
No, it's definitely not a gimmick. I enjoy martial arts. I enjoy MMA. I grew up as an amateur wrestler. I was very fortunate to be able to do a lot of sports growing up. So while I was able to do a lot of sports with wrestling, I did some taekwondo, football, all the sports in school. But really, after college, I really disciplined myself. Not after college, during college. I did 1 year of college. I went off to the circus, and with the circus, I was able to really focus in on some of my tricks. And when I had more free time instead of school time, I really disciplined myself in some jiu-jitsu, some taekwondo, some Muay Thai. And, just nothing. I wouldn't say I'm nothing, no world champ or special, but I got a good understanding of every martial arts that I factor in and what I like to use. And even till this day, I still roll around in some jiu-jitsu. I still go to some boxing classes, just to stay fresh on everything.
Right on. So we had Sam Stackhouse on a few weeks ago, and awesome guy and great interview. And that made me wonder, there's a lot of people that listen to our show that aren't really familiar with local wrestling, and I know that's where you kind of got discovered by GCW. So can you kind of get into local, like how long you guys have been going and a little bit of history?
Oh, yeah. So local wrestling is out of Houston, Texas. I was off of wrestling. I would like to say I had a kid, so I was off of wrestling for about 2.5 years. COVID-19 kicks. A couple friends of mine that in Houston that I used to wrestle with, and one of the promoters just wanted to get back to practice. So started going with everyone out of work during COVID. We all started getting back together, going up to a wrestling school. We had the time, and we started working out with each other. And me and some of the wrestlers, what we like to do is buck up to each other to really find out how to test each other. So our workouts started becoming crazy, and they eventually just kind of started calling, "Hey, you guys are local." And with that, kind of got formed the local wrestling company, and we kind of just used local to help grow Houston wrestling. And I want to say about 4 months into local wrestling, I did a match with Dante Leon in January, and that was the first time I actually got in touch and met the Wrestling with Unicorns. And when they filmed mine and Dante's match, that video went a little viral and got clips. And, that brotherhood and friendship started there. And 2 months later in March, I got the Dragon Bane match for local wrestling. And Wrestling with the Unicorns came back and took some clips, and we went a little viral there. So after going viral on a couple clips, I actually got called by AAA. I got called by Pro Wrestling Noah, probably about a week before I got called by GCW, just from that Dragon Bane match, because he's been all around the world. And they actually saw the Wrestling with the Unicorn clips from Loco. So with Loco and helping me kind of come back, they were the start of Ninja Mack pretty much. So thank you, Local Wrestling. And there's so much good Houston talent coming in. Local wrestling really puts everyone on the map. They give you, they're not just going to give you some random competition. I really feel like local wrestling is the baby of AAA and ECW. If AAA and ECW were to have a baby, I think that's what local wrestling would be.
Yeah, I was looking here. I wasn't very familiar with Wrestling with Unicorns, but it sounds like, it's basically a social media platform or account that shares out a lot of independent professional wrestling, so it's very cool. that they were somebody who kind of picked up and got your stuff out there to the masses. I had never heard of them, to be totally honest with you, and I'm reading about it now, and it sounds like a pretty cool deal right there. So we're gonna look into that some more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't checked them out, they're starting to get all over. They're two high school teachers from Chicago, two brothers. They're both pretty young, but they're both high school teachers, and those guys are. Dude, they get in there. They know how to get the right angles, and they're all over every weekend. They're at indie shows, just filming and uploading content. So shout out to Wrestling with Unicorns. If you don't know them, go like, subscribe, and comment to their stuff. These guys are phenomenal and keeping wrestling alive.
Absolutely. We'll get that shared out on our page as well so they can check it out. I just sent the article to everybody here in the room. I'm on cagematch.net checking out all your matches. And like you said, yeah, I was going to ask you about the little break you took there. So you were lucky enough and had a little one, and now you're back. Last year, it looks like you had 46 matches. This year, you're already at 30 for the year. So obviously, this will be the busiest year you've ever had inside the ring. What are you hoping to do for the rest of the year? Do you have any ambitions, anything that, like a bucket list that you want to check off before 2023 gets here?
You know, I for 2021, I'm a gambling ninja, so I took that number 21 with blackjack and turned it into the year of the ninja. So I wrote down 3 goals for 2021, like 3 goals for 2022. I was striving a little bigger. Obviously, I wanted to check off Japan since it got pushed off last year quite a while. So we'll actually be checking off Japan for Pro Wrestling Noah on April 20th when I fly out. I also would have my second goal this year I'd like to do about 6 digits in merchandise sales. I was really striving to push some merchandise sales just to show that you can make a living on indie wrestling if you do it right, you market yourself right, and you do your business right. And then now that I have actually went over to Germany and wrestled for WXW, I kind of altered my third goal was to really go back to Japan a second time this year. But the way it's looking, I think I would really like to get over to Europe also, just the way after Germany, UK, Ireland, Turkey, all those countries are popping with wrestling. And that's something I'd really like to visit and get over there too. So I think just trying to travel internationally more would be a big third goal this year.
No, absolutely. And I think, a lot of wrestlers that do that, they come back with just this wealth of knowledge and experience, and it just makes you stronger in the long run. We touched on it briefly. You were at Ring of Honor this weekend with Brian Cage. Any chance we see you back in Ring of Honor? It sounds like they're going to be another brand. I mean, Tony's going to keep them going. Any chance we get to see you there again?
I'd like to give y'all more info on that, but the way Ring of Honor worked out for me, I had to be one of the first 2 matches. That was just part of my previous agreement, so I can get to the World on Lucha with GCW. I really had like an hour time frame. So beforehand, I met everyone in the locker room. I met everyone I needed to. I actually got to meet Tony after my match, shook his hand, gave him the time he liked, and then as soon as Tony and me were done talking, I had to actually jet and bolt and get over to that World on Lucha. So I didn't get to stay and chatter too much. I'd hope there'd be a future in Ring of Honor. I'd hope to go back, and I've always been a fan of Ring of Honor, so it's nothing I would say no to. But also in the end game, we got to see what the future holds. I'm still waiting for an email, but my priorities and my focus right now are on Pro Wrestling Noah. Since I'm done with the collective, that weekend I didn't book anything else until Noah. I wanted to take the next 2 weekends off to really get ready for Japan.
Awesome. No, and I don't blame you. After this past weekend, you wrestled enough to earn that break. So once you get to Japan, who do you have lined up over there? Do you know who you're facing already, or is that figure that out as you get there?
April 29th, the only confirmed match I know is me, Dragonbane, and Alpha Lupe de Capri, his brother, Alpha Wolf. We will be doing a 3-way dance, which Noah doesn't do very often, which will be very cool. I think one of our first matches is one of those international foreigner matches. So we'll get to be able to wrestle each other and show the world some crazy lucha and some crazy high flying wrestling. But I think I did make a pitch. I do May 4th. I made a pitch for some really big names. You know, my time in Noah will be very short since it'll only be about 2.5 weeks. And I made a very big pitch for Marufuji. I don't know if it'll be done or if they'll allow it, but I did make a very big pitch to be able to take on Marufuji. So that's my hope for Noah, and we will see how that happens.
Man, I'm all in for you and Marufuji. That'll be awesome. That's a good
Yeah,
thing.
if they allowed me even to be in the ring with Marufuji, that would just be something else.
Yeah, I like that you're going to Noah. They don't get a whole lot of love in the country right now. I mean, everybody's talking New Japan. They're talking All Japan, but no, like Noah in the last few years, it's kind of getting a resurgence because I mean they had.
I know from what I've kept up with, I know it was down a little, but it's on the uptrend. And then just knowing some New Japan wrestlers, I really felt like with as many people that go between New Japan and the other companies that called, I felt like Noah I had a little more of a personal attachment because I watched growing up, just a little bit of Noah growing up, and some of my favorite wrestlers have gone through Noah. So it only made sense to really enrich myself in their history and really take on that Noah name and hopefully become Noah Ninja from now on.
Nice. Yeah, I'm with you because Noah was the first Japanese company I really paid attention to back around 05, 06 when they were doing the stuff with the Ring of Honor. And and like my favorite Japanese wrestler ever is Kobashi, so I got a real soft spot for Noah. So, and like I said, I've never seen anything bad out of them, and I think you'll do fantastic. Now you mentioned,
I hope to give them a little shock of a high falling indie GCW talent and shock a little bit of Japan when I get over there.
oh yeah,
But I'm sure I'm gonna get shocked myself in a couple hard hitting moves. So.
yeah. So you mentioned going to WXW over in Germany, and if I remember right, you won some gold over there on your tour.
Did I got to luckily I got to win on Ace Romero. Guy's phenomenal. Guy's very hard to beat, and I was very fortunate to get a win over him to become one of their belt holders. I did get a defense in there, and unfortunately, I couldn't take it home in the 4-way, but I was able to go out there, win it, defend it, and I really pushed to come back to America with it, but I wasn't able to get that win on the last one. And to my knowledge, I would have been the second American to bring it back, and I would have defended it all over here. So maybe that's something I can aim for in the future.
Yeah.
But those guys at WXW, they're on a whole nother level. Also, all of those guys are great.
Yeah. Were you over there for the 16 karat gold tournament, or was that for a different event?
So I was there, not specifically for the 16 karat tournament, but the 16 karat tournament was going on at the time I was there. So I was involved around it. Maybe that's something I can pitch towards them going forwards that I could maybe enter, but I was not part of that tournament this time.
Right.
And then Jonathan Gresham actually ended up taking and winning that tournament, and going over there and been able to spend a little more time with him. It was very nice to be able to sit down and actually talk with him.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy we'd like to have on here sometime to chat with. I know he's got some connections in Central Illinois where we're out of. But that's a match I'd like to see, you and Gresham, whether it's in GCW or maybe in Ring of Honor. I think you guys would have a hell of a match.
Oh yeah, that guy pinpoint every movement, every angle, will be able to work anything possible. So that's a good match. I'd like to have one day also.
All right, so our favorite fan Dwayne has another question for you. He asks, do you have any aspirations on going WWE or any other national promotion? It seems kind of like a no-brainer to me, but
if they were to call, I would really consider what was being offered. I don't know at what I would like to do, just because I'm very specific in what I'm doing right now with the ninja stuff. And to my knowledge, if you go to a bigger televised company, sometimes they like to change you. I'm not against changing, but also I think with the momentum and the role I have now, I'm not against either also becoming my own self business, my own LLC, and trying to grow myself into my own entity either. So, I'm always open for ears. I'm always open for business and always open to talk. But I'm not gonna sit and wait for people to just hand me out stuff. I need to make stuff happen until I get enough attention for them.
Yeah, and I think and to be honest, with everything that's going on in independent wrestling, that's a very smart idea. I mean, look at somebody like Danhausen, for instance, who for the last couple of years has been on the indies doing his own thing, making money, etc. I mean, it wasn't until recently he went to AEW, and I mean, he really didn't have to. He probably could have continued on the indie side of things and made just as much money on merch and everything else that he's doing. I mean, there's a lot. Matt Cardona, I mean, he's got WWE money, but he doesn't. Everything he's doing on the indies right now is keeping him so talked about and popular. I mean, I don't think he's ever been more popular. So I think it's very cool. You're building a brand, and you're stuck. You're sticking to your guns, and I think that's admirable, and I think it's very cool, and I think it pays off in the long run.
I agree. I think the way the internet is and the way everything happens post COVID, I think it's very possible to then make a living on the indies, which I do got a very good friend in Effie, and with him on my side and be able to speak to him, that man has no problem turning down contracts from big companies for how much he's pulling in on the indies. So just seeing his route and having his guidance, if the money's right and the business is fair and they want to work with you, and I feel like it's something we both benefit, great. But if not, I have all intentions and I have the business mind to be able to push this myself and get where I need to be on my own. So I'm gonna either grow myself in my own entity, or if someone wants to take a chance on me, like I said, I'm always open for business. But until then, you just gamble on yourself and you make it happen.
Yeah, and it seems like GCW's the perfect platform for you. You can keep building your brand up and get your name out there without having to worry about making any wholesale changes or anything like that. And you mentioned Effie, and Effie has fans in this studio. We're all big Effie fans.
Love some Effie.
Our producer Marco knows
Effie
nothing about pro
awesome.
wrestling, but Effie is his favorite wrestler ever, I think, now.
No,
Nice.
just in the
Yeah,
GCW.
Effie is something else. The man is a genius.
Oh yeah, and he's got. I mean, it's just GCW has really taken off. We say you're a GCW guy, but I mean you're a professional wrestling guy. GCW just happens to be a platform that allows you to put forth what you want to do, and I mean they've made so many stars this last year of guys that a lot of folks hadn't known before, and that's what we're trying to push out on this podcast is names. Guys like yourself, Sam Stackhouse, Alex Colon, Effie, anybody we can talk about that somebody hasn't watched or given time to, we want to make sure they are getting their due respect, and new viewers, new fans, whatever we can do. So we absolutely love having you on tonight. We really appreciate the time. You said you've got Pro Wrestling Noah coming up next. Anything else for sure planned after that you want to share with us? Any social media? You got a Pro Wrestling Tees page? Feel free to pitch that out, and we'll make sure that
let's help you get to that
it.
6-digit merch sales.
Yeah, right.
Hey, well, you can. I got a little QR code I post. I'm not with Pro Wrestling Tees. Like I said, I've really tried to make myself my own self business. So you can scan my QR code. That's on all my pages and any platform: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I believe my Twitch is getting up to date, so my Twitch is on par. YouTube, but you can go follow me at Ninja Mack. Everything's pretty easy. And then shout out to Game Changer Wrestling. Always giving those wrestlers the platform and giving us the freedom to express ourselves the way we want. And I really think the way GCW is right now, the way the locker room has come together this last year, sometimes when you get in a locker room and people are just there to wrestle, it's cool. But I really feel like this locker room is bonding. We're growing together. We're selling out major shows every week. And when you got a locker room that really grows together, I really think anything is possible. So, if these bigger companies don't reach out to any of these rising star names, I really think GCW is right there to someone. If one TV company is willing to take the chance, GCW is not far away from taking some chances and trying to get on the national TV. So we're going to keep making GCW one of the biggest shows in the world. And if y'all haven't, please go subscribe to this podcast, like, comment. That's how we all make a living. So we appreciate all of you coming and listening. And y'all have a wonderful day.
All right, hey, thanks a lot for joining us, man. And hopefully GCW's back in Chicago sometime soon. We can come back up and hang out and check things out again.
GCW is definitely coming back to Chicago. GCW loves them. It's in Chicago over there.
All right. Well, Ninja Mack, thank you again for all your time. We're not gonna keep you. We'll let you get back to handling whatever it is you got to handle. But
yeah, you gotta go do some ninja sword stuff outside. Some ninja stuff.
Nice. All right. Well, we'll talk to you soon, man.
All right. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good day, and big bets to the fans out there. Bye.
Man, cool guy, huh?
Yeah, I liked it. His confidence in his own ability is awesome. I actually pulled an article up here where he'd answered a similar question for someone else last year about late summer, that he was offered 3 different contracts with major companies and turned them all down.
Oh, wow.
Because he's betting on his own brand, and I think that's awesome. And I agree with him. A lot of places want to change you, and and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But
even a small change can just make a huge difference for either for the better or for the worse.
Oh yeah, not only him. He mentioned Effie.
Right.
Think about any of the major 3. If Ring of Honor's 4,
Impact would probably do the most with Effie.
And that's who would do the most. But would they change? I think there's parts of his character where they'd be like, you can't do that here.
I think WWE would be afraid of Effie. Number one, they're a publicly traded company, so they got the board of old men.
Yeah,
board of directors, and I think they would try too hard to change him and take away that essence that made people really fall in love with Effie.
I think AEW would maybe do a one-off, kind of like Nick Gage, but
right.
I'm not sure if it'd be a long-term. It really depends. I mean, they got 2 guys running around, they're calling the ass boys. So I mean, but I love that Ninja Mack is, again, betting on himself. He believes in himself. Like he said, he has the business acumen to make it happen. The guy wrestled 7 matches this weekend. He did his homework and his study guides, Kyler, and that's why he is successful.
He did his 1 year of college. It's about 1 more than I did.
What do we got there?
I think this actually coming out of this interview is a good time to take a short break, about 4 or 5 minutes, and go hit the bathroom, refresh our beverage, and then we'll come back and talk more about WrestleMania and NXT and our Top 10 Tuesday. So we'll be back in a bit.
Very nice.
All right, we are back. The kid missed his cue.
Yeah, I literally told no, we're gonna embarrass him. I literally told Kyler about 2 seconds before we went on. I said, "Tell everybody welcome back," and then I stared at him during that awkward silence.
Here
and
you
he
go.
went,
Hang on. I'll do it for him. You ready?
Yeah.
Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad you could join us.
You want to try it again here, Kyler?
Hello and welcome back to Jumping the Rail podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's
Hey, don't you host something
for
somewhere?
Murray.
What do you host?
Let's
What
talk
is
about
your
that
thing?
Rinky Dink YouTube channel.
What's your thing you got?
North South Boys.
How many subscribers you got now?
300 something.
306.
Wow.
So
We are firing Mark Redmond. Kyler is now in charge of this.
So do you feel the pressure breathing down your neck knowing that there's another handsome devil unboxing videos on YouTube now?
Not exactly. but
Who would that be?
This guy right here.
Oh,
Yeah, we
It's on. I do it on the Jumping the Rail YouTube channel. So
the Narchtastic Boys and Jonathan Mayer got some competition. So
that's not. I'm not calling mine the Marktastic Voyage or anything. I haven't thought of a catchy name yet, but we'll get there.
but you're just doing wrestling things pure, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
actually-
doing Nardtastic, which means they get a movie
they do
box or
food sampling. All that.
I
stuff.
mean they'll
dancing.
They buy a DVD and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, look at the liner notes.
I'm toying with another thing to do for the YouTube channel. I'm working out the logistics on my end. I want to. I'm just gonna.
Cat dancing videos
No,
with
no.
Noodles and
No, that's on my wife's YouTube channel.
okay.
I want to bring back the Nitro Party, Narge.
the Nitro Party.
Just
Can we get Ricky Rackman?
I hope not.
I can get Ricky Rackman. I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Every Monday.
He's also huge into wrestling.
Yeah, we know. That's
huge.
That's why we brought it up. He
we-
literally hosted.
But can we afford him?
Yeah.
I can send him a message.
So he worked with WCW and
Right.
For a cup of coffee,
late
yeah.
90s,
Yeah,
right?
98.
During the Nitro parties and some other stuff. So he is, he was a WCW guy for a minute.
Headbangers ball for some of us that aren't into wrestling.
Right.
Yep.
But one thing, I'm thinking about doing something every Monday where I just do a watch along of an episode of Nitro every week. But I got to figure out how to do that at home because I don't have all the fancy technology that we have in the studio. But so keep your ears open for that, and I'll try to get that rolling soon. It might have to be where just we go on the honor system and you just put it on your TV. I'll put it on mine, and I'll just talk on a video.
I'll help you figure it out.
Appreciate it. I had a Mack Mini, so I can probably put the good stuff on
Easily do it.
All right.
Easily.
So let's move on a little bit, get it past our shameless plugs and everything. Let's talk about NXT, Narge. Stand and Deliver was on Saturday. They did it during the day, which is a little weird, but considering they had WrestleMania Saturday night, then it made sense. So I guess the big match, obviously, Dolph retained over Braun and stayed his title reign for another 2 days.
Which made no sense, but
I'm sure they have a plan. I don't know if it's a good plan, but
Yeah.
I mean, Braun with the belt is A-okay with me.
I'm okay with it. I was under the impression that he was going to the main roster. That was
Yeah.
the rumor, that he'd been working some of the
Right.
dark shows, losing the belt. I thought, I half expected the Steiner brothers to come out last night. I
So
thought
did
that
I.
would have been a pop, to maybe offset Rude. I think Rude would have taken a bump for Scotty and Rick.
Oh,
so.
yeah. Oh, Rude loves Scotty. They're TNA guys.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I didn't get to watch NXT. I heard it was great. Mindy was on here earlier, said she loved it.
Yeah, I've seen like the highlights. I saw they put Mandy, Raquel, and Dakota back together as a tag team. They won the tag titles on Saturday, which I don't know. It seemed kind of thrown together to me to put them like they've been in a blood feud for the last several months.
All right, that's why. I don't follow women's NXT a whole lot. I like the Toxic Attraction ladies, and I like Cora
do I.
Jade.
Yeah. I think Mandy retained, if I remember hearing right.
Yeah,
in
which
the-
surprises me. I
in
thought
the
maybe this
four-way.
was where Cora Jade would kind of get her rub a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I do like they updated the women's title. They made it a white strap instead of the black one, so it differentiates it from the men's title.
No, I like that. I saw Cameron Grimes got the North American title.
Yeah.
So, and I like him. He's good. He's
I'm a big fan.
he's hilarious. So
He's great. I liked him in TNA when he was just the technical savage,
I remember that.
but
yeah.
they've really gave him a form to come out of his shell in NXT.
I mean, he took it to the moon, baby.
I didn't know he had it in him when he came here. He just showed up with the top hat and was running through people, and I thought he was great. And then he starts doing this millionaire gimmick. And
New age millionaire man,
going-
dollar man, yeah.
going to the moon and just over-exaggerating everything. I think the thing that did it for me was his feud with Loomis.
Yeah.
When they had the match with the haunted house, and just his overacting is really what sealed it for me. I was like, he's going to be fine.
I call him like the Bitcoin billionaire or something, the
Yeah,
Bitcoin billionaire man.
I think, if I remember the story right, he got rich off of GameStop stock.
I couldn't remember if it was GameStop or the Doji or Doggy coin.
No, I think
or whatever
I think
the
it
hell
was
it
Dogecoin.
GameStop.
was.
Dogecoin?
Oh, wait, who is that? You looked up from your cell phone long enough to answer. You said, what is it?
Dogecoin.
Dogecoin for everybody out there. The Doge.
Don't do that goofy cryptocurrency. I
The
can't
nearly
understand it.
dead Doge.
Fake money.
Speaking of. So, all right. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else really noteworthy on the Stand and Deliver show. Again, I've got to watch the whole
there's
thing.
one. It was Tommaso Ciampa's final stand.
That's right. Ciampa and Tony D.
Yep. Tony D put him out. Triple H hugged him on the way out. And
Yeah. Ciampa doing business the right way, putting the young guys over on his way out the door. Nothing wrong with that.
TBD on where Ciampa goes next. Like I said, maybe this House of Black 2.0 on WWE. But
The Mason, I think, like we said, they're hurting for baby faces on SmackDown.
yeah,
I don't know how good a match with him and Roman would be, but he could have a hell of a match with Ricochet.
yeah, that's the only downside for Ciampa. I think in the long run is going to be his size. He's definitely a smaller built guy.
Right.
So
He's got the charisma, though.
he's got the charisma. He's got the look. All of that.
He could
the
manage
fans
Keith
like
Lee
him.
somewhere.
Lord,
I'm
no.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Come
But
on.
also, but we haven't mentioned yet, speedy recovery to Rick Boogs after night one. First match of the night, torn patella quad, I think. Was
Yeah.
it both of them, or was it?
It was just the one, I think. Torn patella.
It said quad patella. I don't know if that means it's the patella and the quad, or if there's something called a quad patella. Any doctors out there, if you can chime in, I'd appreciate it.
Dr. Dwayne, where you at?
We have a lot of doctors listening tonight. I'll just see if I can get one of them online.
Please do.
But I watched it earlier. Yeah, he was looking good in there. He did the vertical suplex, got down to one knee, picked him back up. I don't know if that eventually Uso jumping on. I think it was awkward. He leaned down to kind of help him up.
I think Boogs was planning to lift him.
Yeah,
And then Uso jumped on him.
and I think it was just a combination of bad timing. Really,
Just nobody's fault or anything. Just bad luck.
I mean, I think the Usos would have retained regardless, right? Like, you don't think there's any change?
I heard that they had. I read somewhere that they changed the finish after the injury. I don't know if that means that Boogs was supposed to take the pin,
Right.
or if they were supposed to win the belts. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
With Roman winning at the end, that's my only thought, is to keep those guys with all the belts.
Yeah, I can
So,
smell what you're cooking.
Yeah. When are they going to bring up the other brother? They got to bring old Silo, whatever his name is.
Solo Sikoa, hell of a talent.
He could take
what
the
I've
belt off old boy that's not doing anything with it.
That could be either one of them.
Yeah.
Balor, Ricochet.
It'd be Ricochet. Yeah. He's the SmackDown guy.
Yeah, I honestly think it'll be soon, but I think he could use a little more seasoning in NXT.
Yeah.
He just had a cool little short run with Walter.
Walter won.
I'm sorry, Gunther.
Gunther. He won Saturday, too.
I forget, who did he wrestle?
Don't remember.
Benders, who did Walter wrestle?
Who did Walter? Gunther. Why can't we remember that?
He wrestled the WWE naming department.
Now I gotta look it up. See, this is what happens when you drink all weekend and hang out with Fozzy.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
L.A.
LA Knight.
LA
The
Knight.
other guy who has no business being. He could go to SmackDown.
He could have just skipped NXT altogether.
Yeah.
I've been saying it since he showed up. So, Narge, we like to talk about pleasant things and good topics and everything. Should we mention all the rumblings going on lately about Nash Carter?
With MSK, I mean, we could touch on it briefly. I think it's to be determined. So
It's a lot of he said, she said going on right now.
So Nash Carter is married currently to Kimberly,
yeah.
who's on Impact.
Yeah.
She insinuates or is accusing him of being verbally and mentally.
And physically, I believe.
Did I say yeah, that's all three of them.
Right.
All three of the bad things to her.
That's the official charge. All three of the bad things.
But so a lot of verbal verbal violence, physical violence, all of that to her. She posted a couple of pictures over the weekend to prove it. I'm not sure it proved a whole lot. A lot of folks thought she looked tired more than anything.
Were those supposed to be pictures from last year? Or
No, this was like recent.
recent? Okay.
But then another person who I think maybe
That's Wesley's wife, I believe.
Wesley's wife.
His tag team partner from MSK.
No. Oh.
Yeah, Wesley is...
Oh, so Wesley and Kimberly are not married.
No.
It's the other guy.
Nash Carter.
Nash Carter. I thought, okay.
No, Wesley is Desmond Xavier. from
Oh,
Impact.
okay. All right. See, I don't want. I know them as the Rascals, and then they showed up and they hung out with Matt Riddle, and nobody knew what MSK stood for, and that's about the extent of my.
Still don't know.
I think it's marijuana smoking kids, but
Makes sense.
That's,
Keep it
that's
simple.
what I heard. Well, I guess she posted that he's been living with them, trying to stay away from her being verbally and mentally abusive. So now it's a he said, she said sort of deal, and I'm sure WWE's got their people looking into things, and I mean MSK's got the belts right now, right? Yeah, they won.
Did they win?
They did win. Yeah, so they beat the little
Imperium.
Imperium and the chubby blue guys from.
Oh, the Creed brothers.
Sure.
Let's not call them the chubby blue guys.
Scott Stapp and Mark Tremonti, the Creed brothers.
Managed by Apollo.
Yes.
Well, no, it's Malcolm Bivens, but
With consequences.
Right.
He's out on the show. No, he's on the big show. I don't know. Sorry, folks. I sound like an idiot talking about NXT. I really don't watch NXT because I'm here every Tuesday doing this show. So that's the one that kind of has to fall by the wayside.
it's not like you can watch it on Hulu or something the next day.
Now I got to prepare for the ultimate elite company in professional wrestling.
Tony Khan's Traveling Circus.
Yes. Tony Khan's Traveling Nitro Circus. That's what it is. It's awesome. I can't wait for tomorrow night.
Who knew that Ninja Mack was in the circus?
No, that was cool, right? Yeah. I wonder what he did.
I'm guessing acrobat.
Maybe.
It could
Who
be.
knows?
Huh?
Who knows?
Who knows?
He's not the best color man in the business for nothing, folks.
Kyler,
Sorry, I had to do a Bob Uecker
Kyler,
quote
so I
from
want to
Major
let you
League.
know here. You haven't been on us live in a while, but I voted you as I can't talk.
Podcast guest of the year.
It's because I'm not drinking.
That's true.
It's
Tequila
podcast.
Narge is going on a hiatus.
He's
Yeah.
tripping over dry mouth.
That is. You were oh my gosh. I have voted you.
Guest host of the year.
Yes, but Mark's
Brother.
delusional brother, that's what I call him,
The guy that doesn't understand how
Juan.
great Hulk Hogan really is.
Johnny Savage or whatever, Johnny Seasons
I think
or
we
whatever
were
you're calling
Johnny
him,
B. Adequate.
Johnny B. Adequate.
Or Johnny B. Acceptable.
The
or
B
something.
stands for barely.
has voted Dwayne.
Carter. Dwayne Carter. The Dwayne.
Dwayne
the
the Rock
speed bump
Carter. So as the
I don't know.
best guest we've had.
I don't know if we mentioned this to Dwayne on Sunday. That my brother said
We
he
did.
could listen to Dwayne talk all day.
Yep.
We did. I think some of you guys were still drunk.
Or as we call him, Mr. Obvious.
I couldn't hear you.
No, Captain Obvious is taken. That's why he is speed bump.
There was so much background noise going on in the house that day. I couldn't hear everything. There was like 5 different conversations
was like
going at once.
20 people in a room made for 5.
Yeah.
You should have been here during that Jackass match. Good luck getting a word in between
my wife was
Mark's
last.
wife, my old coworker.
my wife was cackling like a banshee during that match. She was loving it.
That match was a blast, and Wee Man was awesome.
I was waiting for Stacy to fall down the steps. She was laughing so hard behind us.
I was expecting a feint, you know. But yeah, so my brother votes for Dwayne. He votes for you. You're high on my list. You missed your cue coming back from the break.
This is
That
the
kinda
part
hurt a
where the
little bit.
bribes come in, kid.
But
Part where the bribes come in. Bring an extra Pepsi next time.
we haven't even decided what the prize is for whoever wins guest host of the year.
You get to do it again. Get a host again. Or what the? That's the gift that keeps on giving, Clark.
That's right.
a
It's just as good-
part-time, unpaid, partial internship.
Yeah, he's our
Yes.
intern, and he is also gets the Jelly of the Month club.
Intern Kyler. That is a good ring to it.
Yeah.
How was Fozzie Saturday, Kyler? Oh, you didn't get a go. That's right.
You probably saw some on the live streams your dad or I put up if you were watching anything.
Or his mom went live.
Hey,
She
Mom,
never
she
goes
did that
live.
too, yeah.
So, yeah.
He's like, hell no, I was doing my own thing.
He was asleep. He had a baseball game to get his butt whooped at on Sunday
Right,
morning.
right.
So
We've all been there.
He did pretty good. Kid got out there, struck two batters out. got a walk, and then
He
got
ate
hit,
a baseball.
And he got hit in the butt by a baseball.
Yeah, okay, he didn't.
Hey,
eat
that's
it,
the best
but
place to get hit by a pitch is on the butt.
Took a heater to the meat.
I don't know.
Oh, wait,
I don't know.
that's the wrong
When you
show.
when you get older, when you get hit in the ass with a baseball, the next thing happens, you charge a man with a bat in your hand because the ball's behind you.
Ask Mark about Nolan Ryan and Robin Ventura.
Yeah, see how that worked out for him.
The only guy to get 6 hits in 1 pitch.
That's right.
Only got to get 6 hits off of Nolan Ryan in a single inning.
Robin forgot where he was at for the rest of the
And
game.
I
the
watched
year.
that. I watched that game a lot. My brother and my dad are both White Sox fans, so I remember watching that game. Robin got about 3 steps to the mound, and you could see
You
the
see on his
regret
face, like,
on
oh,
his face.
shit, this is the wrong
Yeah,
move.
Nolan was already ready.
No, Nolan is a true big-ass Texan boy, and he just put the hurt on him.
And he whipped on a kid named Robin.
Yes, he did.
He didn't bring Batman with him.
He brought a bat with him.
So, all right. So let's get back to the wrestling. We're kind of, what a surprise. We've jumped the rail again.
Tangents.
We get a lot of tangents, but we got a lot of time, though. We're
do.
running very well ahead of schedule. But let's get back into WrestleMania a little bit, Narge, if you'd like. And I think we need to talk about Logan Paul.
Yeah.
How did you grade Logan Paul's performance during his match?
Better than expected.
Agreed.
I agree.
I think he's a jerk.
He is a jerk.
He is.
And I don't mean his heel or no heel. I mean he.
No, he's a dick and a half, but
Yeah,
he
bona
did a
fide.
hell of a job in the ring, though.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Him and his brother are both huge jerks. They're very intelligent people that have obviously done well for themselves.
They've capitalized on their jerkdom.
Yes.
Could we have them have a fight to the death with the Diaz brothers?
Uh,
And just have them test each other out?
No, just with each other. We're guaranteed one of them's gone.
It could happen. So, obviously, if you didn't see the match, Miz and Logan won. And then Miz did his thing and dropped him with the skull-crushing but Miz got a pop. And from what I understand, I read an article earlier today that when Logan signed his contract with WWE, he put in there a babyface clause that at one point he would be allowed to jump over and play a babyface role. That's never going to happen. Nobody is going to
likes him.
cheer for him.
I see Dwayne, he says he was okay, but not better than Bad Bunny. That I agree with.
No, Johnny
Is he talking
Knoxville
about
is way
Logan-
better than Bad
Is he
Bunny.
talking about Logan Paul? Is he talking about Johnny Knoxville?
We haven't even talked about Johnny
Dwayne, we
Knoxville.
have to you have to be more clear. Who was
I
he
still
in
say
your
Bad,
statement, sir?
Bad Bunny's the measuring stick for celebrity.
No,
in
Bad
ring.
Bunny was awesome last year at WrestleMania. He was kind of a high point. Logan did not embarrass himself by any means.
Nice
Look-
power
No,
slam.
not at all.
He honestly looked the part. Nice
Oh, yeah.
power slam, nice frog splash.
Did the Three Amigos flawlessly.
Yes.
Is that where they put their hands on their hips and go, hut, hut, hut?
No.
Oh, it's not that one?
wrong 3D.
We'll see him again.
I do love that movie, though.
We'll see him again. It wouldn't surprise me if we see him team with his brother against Miz and somebody else. I don't know. Would they bring John Morrison back for a minute just to do something? Miz doesn't have any partners. Nobody
Miz has
likes
no
him.
friends. Yeah.
Yes, Miz has no friends.
I think it's got to be a one-on-one, Logan and the Miz.
I'm
That
okay
sounds like a
with
TV
that.
show, Logan and the Miz.
I just, they've talked about Jake wants to come and do something too now. Of
course he does.
So, everybody want to capitalize. But I mean, it's just, I thought he did good. I thought Johnny Knoxville did good. You know who did great? Pat McAfee.
The celebrities really stepped up this weekend. Johnny Knoxville, we weren't expecting a technical masterpiece, but man, was that a fun match.
It was exciting. It was
Johnny
hilarious.
Knoxville was way better than Logan Paul. I could just say that.
Yes,
It was
I would
great.
agree.
Until
For
the end.
fun.
The Jackass crew was better than Logan Paul. Johnny himself, not so much.
It was great till the end when the mousetrap kind
Oh,
of
poor
backfired
Johnny,
on
huh?
him. He pulled. Hey, they made it work.
They made it work.
But who didn't? Did somebody not test that thing beforehand? Like he about knocked himself out with
Right,
it.
right.
So
Well,
But-
but I thought Johnny added a lot of energy that was just like rambunctious. Like I think that was his whole appeal. But he was grinning like a fool the
He
whole
gave
damn
off
He
time.
was
Look.
having the time of his life
Oh
doing
yeah,
this.
I mean when he marched out to the ring, he gave off the look like he was in a movie about pro wrestling. He marched down there with this look like I'm gonna kick his ass.
Skinny little sumbitch too.
I got a kick out of when Party Boy showed up, doing his thing. Then Wee Man came out from under the ring, Hornswoggle style.
That was awesome.
I was
Pat
surprised by the body
McAfee
slam.
did good too, Dwayne. Yes,
Pat McAfee.
Pat
Oh.
McAfee.
Yeah,
We
he
haven't
did
got
great.
there yet. We'll get.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't get yourself over, Dwayne. But no, the Wee Man I think might have been the MVP of that match with Knoxville and Sami Zayn.
Well, I said it here, and then somebody said on it, but it was like Hogan slamming Andre when he got him up there. You
Oh
know?
yeah, that was fantastic.
I got a buddy who does not watch wrestling that I sent the a a Daily Motion clip of that specific match to him because he's a Jackass fan, and yeah, he thought it was fantastic.
I mean, they hit all the high notes, man. Had the big hand.
Oh, the big hand is my favorite gag from Jackass, so I'm glad that got brought out. The foot was a new thing, right?
The foot, yeah, the
foot on the stand.
The kick to the junk?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was new. I haven't seen that.
They brought out the Al Snow bowling ball spot in the corner.
Kyler didn't care for that one. He thought that looked pretty painful.
It probably was.
But it was my favorite, though.
More than the hand?
I like the hand.
That was Mae Young and Mark Henry's hand.
That's
right.
right.
His WrestleMania
Mark Henry
debut.
said he produces generational talent.
No,
and,
that was fun.
The table with the mouse traps was a fun spot,
Yeah.
I'm surprised that'll come to GCW soon.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen that. I thought both nights were paced well. They were separate. You know the one match we're not talking about a whole lot? Well, there's two of them. It's the women's title matches.
Let's get into it. I think the Raw women's title match outshone Charlotte and Ronda.
Yeah.
I'll go so far to say I think that was one of the two best matches of night one.
Oh yeah, a lot of folks said match of the year candidate. I mean, we enjoyed a lot of other stuff. We enjoyed Cody and Seth, but they were saying that. You saw last night Bianca's eye. I mean, she took a hard one to the face.
She got tuned up, man. I was hoping for Bayley last night. We didn't get it.
I think we get her SmackDown. Ding dong.
I think you're right.
Who's she coming out for? It's got to be Charlotte, right? Obviously, if she comes to SmackDown, it's got to be Charlotte. But if she comes back as a heel, is it? She's never wrestled Ronda. Does Ronda come out?
She has wrestled Ronda. On Raw once, I think she wrestled Ronda. It wasn't on pay-per-view.
Well, that's what a program.
A program, okay.
But Bayley is so good as a heel. Do you bring her back? If you bring her back as a baby face, I don't know if she has what she was really gaining some steam.
She'll get a pop when she comes back, regardless. But the question is, who do you put her with? I mean, the obvious thing for me is Bianca because they never got to finish their feud before, but when she got hurt,
right? They should have done that last night.
Yeah, but I guess that's why we're not booking.
We don't have to worry about Sasha for a while. She's the tag champ, so
yeah, she'll
stay busy.
She'll stay busy. I like her and Naomi as a team. They flow well. I don't think it'll be a long-term pairing by any means.
For me, the Ronda Charlotte match, I didn't hear much about it. I know a lot of folks said it didn't flow well together. There was a shot I think I saw where Charlotte had a wardrobe malfunction at one point, and they had a 3-second
little nip slip there.
Yeah, so I don't know. There was a lot of rumors that Ronda was unhappy about not being the main event. She got online and said that wasn't the case, that she left the Hall of Fame because she's got a kid at home, which I understand.
Right. Yeah.
Can't leave it to the big Travis at home to watch the baby
especially
all
when
night.
Taker's going an hour.
Yeah, Taker was up there giving a motivational speech. It was Tony Robbins.
Right.
It was great, though. We didn't talk about that.
We'll get to that.
We getting there? All right.
I'm going to give my take on Ronda and Charlotte.
Yeah.
That match, I liked the match. Like I said, it wasn't my favorite, but what I liked about it was Ronda has a reputation for being a great grappler. Judo background, everything. Yep. Every time Charlotte tried to wrestle Ronda would out grapple her. She couldn't, it took a while for Charlotte to get an upper hand on Ronda. She kept just showing how good she was. Which, when you watch somebody like Shayna, and she's in a striking contest with Liv Morgan, and Liv's not going down, or Liv's going strike for strike with Shayna Baszler, that makes no sense to me.
No, yeah. Everybody knows that Ronda's a legit, MMA star at one point. So.
Although I do say I think Shayna's more legit than Ronda for the striking.
Oh, I believe so. We were talking over the weekend. Mark had mentioned that, Ronda's next feud should be whoever the UFC women's champion is that took her spot. And funny enough, I said it was Juliana Pena.
Mm-hmm.
She cut an interview this weekend and basically said that Ronda is not well liked in the UFC anymore, and is kind of a joke.
You've mentioned that before.
Well, she said this in an interview that she's kind of a joke. She was this badass, laid everybody out, got knocked out twice, and left and went to pro wrestling. And Pena said, she went over and was doing the fake stuff. Kind of setting herself up for an angle, it sounded like to me, but
she's setting herself up to get knocked the hell out by somebody if she pops off to him.
I don't know. I mean, Rousey, after she got to a certain point, and didn't she leave, then go back, and then got beat?
She didn't go back to UFC. She took time off after WrestleMania a few years ago to have the baby and all that.
So what you mean? So the first time she got knocked out by Holly Holm. She was gone for about a year and a half.
Right.
And then came back and wrestled Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes then put her out too. That was the end of her UFC career. Then she went to WWE.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yep. Worst mistake she ever made was letting her coaches tell her she could stand up with people.
Yeah, and I think, and that's what Pena kind of said this weekend, is that Ronda really never had that farewell, feel-good moment in the UFC. She wasn't able to come back and get a win and go out on that.
Well, she got the Hall of Fame, though.
She did, but like Pena said, it's a fight game. You got to win. So could set it up. I know at one point they wanted to bring Paige Van Zandt over, and then Van Zandt, same thing. She couldn't get a win to save her life, but I think pro wrestling's more up her.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling and OnlyFans.
I think she'll thrive in AEW doing the thing.
Oh yeah.
Kyler doesn't know about OnlyFans.
No, you don't need to.
All right, so we talked about the women. Let's talk the women's tag match since we're talking about the ladies. I thought solid. It was what it was. Same deal.
Didn't over-deliver, didn't under-deliver. Hit it just right where it was at. I really didn't think they'd give the belts to Sasha and Naomi. I didn't. I thought they were the biggest names in the match, so
I thought Rhea and Liv myself.
That's what I thought too. They'd been building that up, but now it looks like they were building it up to tear it apart.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that happens next week.
I think so.
I like Natty and Shayna.
Oh, me too.
We said that, the Queen of Heart and the Queen of Spades.
Yeah, it's perfect match. The only better partner for Shayna would be Ronda.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, solid match. We talked about this all the week. Zelina doesn't get nearly the due that she deserves for in-ring talent.
Hopefully she gets a little more time now that Carmella's,
she got hitched. Congratulations to Carmella and Graves. They got married today, from what I understand.
That's right, yeah.
And they started the honeymoon last night on Raw with some pretty uncomfortable PDA.
It was a bit much. Yeah. I was even my wife was like, "What are they doing?"
So was mine. She's like, "We don't do that in public."
You know what I missed? So we brought up Corey Graves, and I'm gonna help us segue to the Hall of Fame. I missed Jerry the King Lawler hosting. I thought he done a way better job than Corey. And was that Kayla Braxton?
I think it was. Yeah.
Nah, get them out of there.
Kayla, I don't think she can get out of her own way when she's doing like the kickoff show, doing the hosting things. That's where Renee Young is so valuable.
Yeah, it was you or Mark. Somebody mentioned she looked nervous up there during.
Yeah, that was me.
Was it you? Yeah, and she did. Where Renee felt
stumbling over her words.
Yeah, Renee felt right in the zone with them.
Yeah.
But Lawler always done so good at the Hall of Fame, and I love hearing. I heard today Jerry's going to be back for the next couple of Raws. While Corey and Carmella are out doing their honeymoon thing. Yeah. So we're going to get some of them old antics, the old Jerry Lawler,
Can Corey and Carmella take Saxton with them?
That would be fantastic. Yes, please.
I am not a fan.
Just listen to Jimmy and
he took
Jerry.
He took a fine stunner on Saturday.
Way better than Vince.
Better than Vince, yeah. Of course, he also kept his footing, but that's neither here nor there.
Did you guys see Steve Austin's brother in there at the end? That's who that other gentleman was. Yeah.
I don't know which brother it was. I think it might have been Ken.
Steve should have stunned him, too.
That would be great. I would love that.
Should have dropped him, too. Nobody gets out.
Oh, my God.
But the Hall of Fame, I watched
Let's talk about the Hall of Fame.
I watched the whole thing.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet, so you tell me about the Hall of Fame. What were the high points? What did I miss?
So, we'll run over who went in, obviously. The Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott, Queen Charmel. Warrior Award was Shad Gaspard. I'm saving my favorite. My favorite, the Man Vader. And then ultimately, maybe the greatest WWE character of all time, The Undertaker.
Definitely.
I've never seen them give as much time. They really allowed Undertaker to tell his story. It was really cool. It was maybe one of my favorite speeches ever was that. The Warrior Award speech got me. Somebody's cutting onions in the room, man. The Shad Gaspard story is just so cool. His son got to come out with JTG. They did the little handshake shuffle thing in the beginning, and that was awesome.
Yeah, the whole Shad story gets you in the feels every time, man.
Oh, yeah. Queen Charmel did a fantastic speech. Great speech. And Booker let her get her shine. Booker was in tears up there. Disappointed with the Steiner brothers speech. Braun set it up perfectly. Braun Breaker's out there. He said, "I'm going to do the most dangerous thing I've ever done," or something along those lines. He goes, "I'm going to turn over a hot mic to my Uncle Scotty." And Scotty was just rambling. He told a story about Macho Man and him and some cows. It made no sense. And the whole time you can hear Rick telling him, he's like, "Wrap it up. Hey, wrap it up." And so Rick gets on, and Rick's like, "Well," he goes, "I'll keep this short since we had 5 minutes and Scott took 4. And Scott was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he's like, "Yeah, I bet you are." And then so he proceeded to talk
the
about
Shoney's with you.
everything they'd done and how they appreciated their families and all the other teams. He said, I never thought we would be here. And he turned and he looked at Scott, and Scott goes, what? He goes, you know what I'm talking about. And I thought that was great. We could have left the cow story out, but just the alluding to all that.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to meeting those guys next weekend, or 2 weeks from now at the Squared Circle Expo. But continue.
No, yeah, I got to meet both of them in the past. Scott was just coming off he was still in the limelight when I met Scott, so he wasn't as cool. I met Rick at WrestleMania 32. He was awesome. He sells houses. Anybody who lives down in the Georgia area.
Is he still on the school board?
I think he's still on the school board, too. He's doing both, yeah. So he's a realtor and a school board guy, and he made the most of his time after. But overall, it was an entertaining show. A lot of people have bitched and complained years past that the inductees had too much time.
Hey, Billy Jim.
And, I never had a problem with it. I like the long. These guys have given us 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Let them get up there and tell their story. What I do think needs to happen is they should have a speech prepared beforehand, and it needs to be approved by WWE. Hey, this is how long it's going to be. This is how long it's going to, And I would tell them, you start to differentiate from this. We're going to have to cut you off. We're going to figure it out. It just felt rushed. Again, the Steiners had 5 to 10. They all had 5 to 10. Taker got an hour, which he deserves. You mentioned him going in by himself. I thought it was cool at the end. He talked about all his daughters, his dad, his mom, everybody. Was getting out of the ring, turned around, went back in, put the duster on, put the hat, and said, never say never, and that's the last thing he said.
Uh-huh.
Whether that means we ever get him or not, it may just be him playing
trolling.
it. Yep, trolling, playing it up, and people are all every year going to be like, Taker's coming back. He ain't. I don't think he is.
Nah, I think he's done.
They all come back.
Until they die.
Dwayne,
He ain't dead yet.
Dwayne mentioned Mr. T talking about his mama. Yeah, that was a little ridiculous.
Dwayne,
But that was like 10 years ago, Dwayne.
Dwayne, the cow story made no sense. It was funny, but Steiner literally gets up there, thanks all the other teams they ever wrestled, and then goes into the story about, well, I came to WWE and I met Macho Man and we traveled together and one night we're in a field with cat. And I'm like, what the hell? The segue into it, the hammer slow into it was just,
That is now in the JTR jargon.
No, it just made no sense. Scotty looked nervous as hell. And I think maybe due cause. He's going in, he's being recognized. But at the same time, Scotty burned some bridges.
Yeah.
There. I would love to hear some behind the scenes stuff. There was a picture of him and Vince and Triple H, and Scotty's next to Triple H. I would like to hear, and maybe we'll get that at some point. You remember years ago when Warrior went in, and we got to see all the backstage, the 24/7, him and Hogan, and I'd like to see something like that. It'll probably be on Taker, but
I'll tell you what I'd like to see. I'd like to see both of them go on the Broken Skull sessions sometime with Austin. Just sit down with him for an interview for a couple hours.
Steiners or like Triple H and Scott? Yeah, Steiners would be great.
Oh, you mentioned Triple H. We didn't mention what opened up night 2 of WrestleMania, which was Triple H coming out to open the show. Did the tradition left his boots in the middle of the ring. I think a lot of people really got hit in the feels by that one. Some more onion cutting going on at WrestleMania.
They may have smelled bad. That might have been what it is.
Could be.
One of those shutting the doors on some childhood memories for a lot of us. Triple H was kind of the last of the guard,
Yeah.
But it was cool, to get to see Austin and all that. With Triple H, we talked, next year's Hall of Fame. It's in Hollywood. There's one of two guys has to go in. I don't think it's both. At some point this year, if we get The Rock and Roman, it's got to be The Rock. Yeah. If it's not, then it has to be Triple H. Maybe they save Triple H for 40. So
maybe they save The Rock for 40.
Maybe they save The Rock for 40.
Have they announced where 40 is going to be at?
Not yet. So no, we talked about this
last
couple
Tuesday.
episodes ago. Yeah.
I mean, if it's not the Garden, do they do it in Miami? That's Rock's hometown.
Could be.
So you never know.
It'll be interesting to see, but I think those are two of the bigger names that have been omitted.
I think it's the two biggest names that are left.
Yeah, I mean,
before you go into more deeper into the legend pool,
the Bundys and the Bigelows.
Yeah.
Well, Undertaker had actually mentioned the Bone Skull crew, and there's a couple guys in there that could be in that haven't. Crush, the Godwins,
Savio Vega.
No, he did not mention Savio.
I like Savio,
but
I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer in Puerto Rico.
Crush had a lot of great gimmicks over the years. I mean, if you're going to put Coco in,
He had a lot of gimmicks.
Crush is, there's room for Crush. Godwin's held the tag belts,
Well, if Demolition ever does go in, then Crush will go in with him.
That's maybe.
Maybe. It's really up to Edie.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I mean, the Horsemen went in. Not all the Horsemen went in, though.
Right.
So NWO went in, and Crush should have been there too.
Yeah.
So
Vegas appears to be the front runner for 40.
that was my guess. One of my guesses was Vegas and Allegiant Stadium. So
Right.
Well, they got a brand new stadium, and they're using the brand new stadium from the Rams for next year's, right?
Right.
SoFi, yep.
So,
Because they
that
used
makes
the
sense.
Raiders Stadium for SummerSlam this past year.
Yeah.
And I could see them doing it again because it looked great for SummerSlam.
So Dwayne thinks Triple H next year. Dwayne, Triple H before The Rock. Is that what you're telling me now?
Triple H in Hollywood, Dwayne?
For me, it makes more sense with Rock next year. So
Right.
Yep. Minders mentioned something that we haven't brought up yet about Taker. She asked, did we see where Noel called him out for not mentioning anything about Mick?
I did see that.
That was a surprise to me to hear that.
It was because he got up there and he talked about a lot of guys, some opponents. He talked about Paul Bearer and Kane, Yokozuna. He did mention Bryan Adams, Crush. He said Bryan was one of the last guys that he got to see him alive. They went out and broke bricks together with their hands or something. And he kind of just alluded to the fact, he said, at the time I didn't know why I went out and did it with him. Looking back, I realized why I went and did it. Because, you got to hang with a buddy and do something. But yeah, I mean, Mick Foley really, that was a big deal for their Taker. Vince mentioned Foley early on. Vince did a rundown of the Undertaker's opponents, and he did not leave any names out. Whether it was somebody in AEW or somebody who's burned a bridge, Vince mentioned them all. Right. I don't know if Taker, just nerves got to him. I know that Noel said that Mick had forgot to thank his wife when he went in the Hall of Fame. So it happens.
Harley Race forgot to thank his wife. It does happen. I'd like to.
So when Minder says called him out,
She went on social
pointed
media.
out or was a bitch about it? Which one was it?
Yes.
See,
She
that
wasn't.
ain't
She
cool.
wasn't a bitch about it.
No.
She went on Twitter and just mentioned that he didn't say anything.
She said
about
she was
her
kind
dad.
of heartbroken that, she said it was a
Right.
great speech, but she was kind of surprised and sad that he didn't mention her dad, and
an hour. I mean, page 412 of his speech got lost.
yeah.
I'd like to think that he might have called Mick the day after, maybe the day before, and said something to him, But you never know. It's hard to say if you're not there.
Either that or him and Mick are slated to fight soon.
That's not happening. Oh, what? In the first one to the nursing home match? Mick takes another bump, and he'll be in a wheelchair.
He'll disintegrate like a skeleton.
He's a tad punchy, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
But we love Mick. He's one of our favorites.
But like I said, overall, it was a fun 2.5 hour watch. I'd like to see him get more time. Somebody like the Warrior Award, they don't need a lot of time.
No, and Dana doesn't need to give a big speech.
And she is just...
I can't stand her.
She was maybe the nails on the chalkboard for me when she comes out there and she faked like she was going to run to the ring like Warrior, and she gets to the ring, she's pointing to the sky, and she's just too much pandering. Has nobody told her that a lot of folks don't like the Ultimate Warrior?
Right. Apparently trying to get yourself over is sexually transmitted. And I think I saw Dwayne said something about Charmel. We didn't cover it. He says Charmel shouldn't have went in alone. I agree. The artist formerly known as Prince Iake should have gone in with her.
For Charmel, they did a good thing building it up, though. They got in there with all of some of the African-American female talent, Bianca and them, and really built it up how it was so nice to see somebody in that position be a queen, be revered. Booker built her up, and she did, man. She thanked the Nitro Girls. She thanked Boogeyman. She thanked, for a valet, it is what it is. It was in Houston. Mm-hmm. There's so many valets we could talk about who should be in before. Again, Miss Elizabeth need to be in number one. I'm okay with a one-off like this every year. At some point, you run out of names. I mean, at some point, there's going to be somebody who has a favorite that's not in. For me, it was Vader. Right. He's in now. So now who do I complain about next?
I'd go Bigelow. I think would be
Bigelow. I think would probably be my next one.
Maybe
yeah,
Pillman or Luger. We talked about Luger before.
Yeah, Luger's a guy who has made amends. Is very he's one I don't understand. I think he would be great next year. Rock, Luger, do Demolition. I mean, listen, that's a
Demolition. I think is still a ways off because of the lawsuit.
Yeah,
but it's. If I'm not mistaken, I think Charmel is the first African American woman to go in the Hall of Fame. If my math is right.
yeah. Which, I mean, who would do it before her? Sapphire?
Dark Journey.
I don't even know that name.
She was
No, Miss Texas went
Jackie.
in. Jackie.
Oh,
Jackie's
Jackie
number
went in, that's
one.
right.
Yeah.
My apologies to Jackie Moore. I forgot about
Jackie,
her.
who could do it all.
Oh man, so good.
So she well deserved first.
Where's Jazz? Jazz needs to go in.
Jazz? Yeah, that's another one who was at a time when it was divas and bullshit.
She was the
legitimate.
anti-diva. She
Yeah.
was. Somebody was called the anti-diva. I forget who it was, but
Ivory.
no, it was somebody recent. But if you want anti-diva, it's Jazz.
Yeah,
She knocked the hell out of all the women and most of the men.
and was still wrestling up to about last year.
Yeah, she just retired. Her husband, Rodney Mack, actually wrestled on the NWA Crockett Cup.
Yeah, he looked good. I thought
Yeah.
he did pretty well.
He's a big, scary-looking dude too.
He is. So we were talking about Hall of Fame. Let me ask you this. Here's two guys I really enjoy. And we don't need Shockmaster jokes. But I liked Earthquake, and I
Yeah.
liked Typhoon.
Right?
Earthquake, I think, deserves to be in.
Yeah.
But does he deserve to be in alone, or do you pair him up and do natural disasters together?
I put him in alone
Together.
because he had a good run solo before the natural disasters.
I mean, he really did. He was one of Hulk's big opponents,
Right.
and you know,
Ottman, I could see going in maybe. I mean, he'd be one of those last ones in the class.
he'd be a
announced.
He'd be a Coco guy.
But he's one now that Cody's back. I could see him being the one to put him in because he's his uncle.
Mindy mentions about the one that we won't speak of, who will never go in.
Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Chris
we don't
Bruno.
talk about Benoit unless your name's Ninja Mack, and then we allow it. So
Minders, I'm going to say this. We all remember how great he was in the ring.
yes, Dwayne.
And like I said, he's still one of my favorites to watch. And
Who's this?
Chris Bruno.
Bruno.
But
Benoit.
Benoit.
but
Thank you.
We're making an Encanto joke.
Okay.
But it
Got
takes it's going to take a lot for anybody to be able to put his tragic end past them.
So his
to put him
tragic
in
end
anything.
was not in the ring, or it had not. It was not.
No.
He murdered his
it was,
wife. And
I know what he
son.
did.
Right.
So I know what he
What?
did.
CTE
but that's,
is
yeah, that's a
CTE
result of
hell.
his wrestling. CTE
Yeah.
is a
It's-
result of it. His wrestling performances, his characters, his everything he did is what the Hall of Fame should be based on.
while the WWE Hall of Fame celebrates the wrestlers and their careers, that would be a PR nightmare to put him in.
Yeah, and that's the thing is WWE that nobody votes on this. There's not a committee. It's Vince
Right, it's
McMahon.
Vince, yeah.
So
That's a good place for him to admit.
I heard how they get names for the Hall of Fame. I heard that they have a circle like some people like Hayes, Pritchard, and they put
They have
their,
an academy.
sort of like an academy, but they put their suggestions in the list, and then Vince and Triple H, I guess, choose. Well,
Right.
up until this year, Triple H might have been involved in the decision making, but
I think that Benoit. I mean, this would be a great place for Vince to, first of all, solidify the idea for the rest of the world that wrestling is real. As far as like these guys aren't faking it. Benoit didn't, Sugar Plum Fairy his way to death. Okay. It was because of all the hits he took. It was all the damage.
Right.
Okay. We see the NFL right now finally acknowledging CTE is a real problem and trying to make changes for that. But they're also acknowledging that some of their guys that have done some things because of the CTE shouldn't be shunned to the back page.
No.
Maybe Vince ought to put this out there and say, you know what? Let's get this over with and say this was the reason here we are. Because people do revere the guy as a wrestler.
right. That's definitely something to think about. I see Mender's Paige was the anti-diva. You are right. I forgot about Paige. And she's one that could go in the near future.
Hey, is Alexa Bliss is she still
Yes.
playing wrestling?
She's
She wrestling?
she's off TV for right now, but she's still active.
She's still active. Okay, because I mean, she needs to go in just so we can watch her stand there for an hour.
Dwayne, the Big Boss Man, is in the Hall of Fame. His family accepted on his behalf a few. I think weren't you there for that one, Nerch? For Boss Man in New
no,
Orleans?
one boss man. Who was the posthumous the year? It
Was that
wasn't-
Rude?
No, I'm gonna have to look it up. But it wasn't either of them.
But yeah, Boss Man is in though. All right, so I think it's time for everybody's favorite segment on our show, Narge, because it is Tuesday. So I think it's time to go with
Oh,
our top 10.
it was Boss Man. I
It was
don't know how
Boss
I
Man.
forgot that. Slick
How do I remember better than you when you were there?
introduced him, and then
Was
his family,
Tequila Narge at the Hall of Fame that
yeah,
year?
it's possible. That's also the year Jacqueline went in. So.
Oh yeah,
I
We're
remember
on the ball,
Stan
folks.
Hansen staying in the Freebirds. Those were the
yeah.
The ones for me.
All the Freebirds singing out of tune.
And doot-dooting around, yeah.
Yep. All right. So let's get
Top 10.
Let's get into our top 10 Tuesday this week, Narge.
Alrighty.
And we did the list. This is something we had discussed over the weekend, and it's one I had done in the past on the old Central Illinois Pro Wrestling Club page, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring it back because it is a good topic, and everybody loves merchandise, and with pro wrestling tees being all the rage these days, our top 10 this week is top 10 wrestling T-shirts of all time.
Soon we'll be able to add our T-shirt on that list.
Yeah.
We're going to have our store up and running soon.
That's right. All right. So, I mean, I got shirts on here from all eras from the 80s to today. But I think you'll agree with most of these, Narge.
I think
you may have most of these.
If I remember back in the day, yeah, that ought to be a good game to play. How many
Right.
of these do we own between the two of us?
I counted mine. I have 6 of them. I have 6 of the 10, and it's not the top 6, funnily enough. All right. So number 10, the Macho Man Randy Savage sunglasses T-shirt, the purple one.
Got it.
Got it? Yeah, I got it too.
Well, I got it from you. And
Yeah.
then I had it before.
I got it. I had to get another one because I love the shirt.
My wife actually has that one too. That's how popular it is. So we've all three had it.
It's a Macho Man shirt?
Yep.
That there might be a parody
It
version
survives
coming.
near all the Hogan gear?
It says Macho Man. It's got his face with
the
the
sunglasses.
sunglasses. Yeah.
Right on.
That there might be a JTR parody version of that shirt coming
Kyler,
in
what?
the near future.
You can't talk over everybody else. We already do that enough for everybody.
Go ahead, kid.
Go ahead.
What you got?
Nope.
Come on.
What
Come
do
on.
you got?
I was just explaining what the shirt was.
Okay.
A little exposition.
You got something to say? Pipe in.
That
Be loud.
guest host of the year ain't going to win itself, buddy.
No, you falling far. You might be below Joe LaMondola now. You just
I won't go
falling
that
down
far.
the list.
I think Andrea might have leapfrogged him.
Yep, Andrea might be ahead of you.
All right. Number 9. I know it's one of your favorites. I don't think either one of us has it. Is ECF&W, Narge. The old ECW shirt.
Nope, never had it.
I have the GCF&W shirt.
Yeah.
The GCW version. But I think that's the most iconic ECW shirt out there. And there's so many good ones. Marco, do you have any wrestling T-shirts?
He's got the 1989 Miss Malibu Mud champion T-shirt. He got
I'm trying
that.
to think. Let me see.
I
Do
went
I have a
to-
T-shirt from a band that appeared on a WWE show? I might have one of those. I don't have a wrestling shirt now.
Kid Rock.
No, I don't own a Kid Rock anything. No, sorry.
We're
No.
gonna
All
get
right,
him.
moving on before we get him all hot and
We're gonna
bothered.
get him a Hall of Fame
No, it's all
shirt
good.
from the year he went in with his face on it.
Yeah, Kid Rock is in the Hall of
He
Fame
is.
with Donald Trump.
He's in the celebrity wing. All right, number 8. This might get me some heat for being too low on the list, but I don't care. Degeneration X, the original 2 words T-shirt from '97. It says "Suck It" on the back.
I didn't have that one. I had the
Is that where they do this?
I used to have that one.
yeah.
I outgrew it many
I
years
had
ago.
the olive green one, said Operation 69 Troop 69 Operation DX, something like that. I had
like
that
the army shirt.
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't have that one. But
one. I was told as a kid, you are not allowed to wear that to school, and I said why?
All right.
And then
Yeah.
I got no explanation
When you
other than
played
you
football-
will not wear that to school.
when you played football, did you wear number 69?
I didn't play football, so no.
Hey, me either.
But I certainly wore the number.
But that's definitely it's right behind Austin 316 for that period. Most iconic WWF shirts.
Hey, don't give away things. So
Keep
early.
going. Keep going.
I'm not giving anything away. Hey. All right, number 7. We both have this one. I have 2 of them. Wanted Dead or Alive, Cactus Jack
Yep,
T-shirt.
that's one of my favorites. That's
I used to
easily-
have a Wanted Dead or Alive Bon Jovi shirt.
I used to have a Slippery When Wet Bon Jovi shirt. So it was
Did
the
you have
yellow
the-
one that
did-
just had the text on
Oh,
it.
you didn't have the unrated cover version?
No, I did not. But no, this one I have a version with the sleeves cut off, which I used for Halloween this past year when I was Cactus Jack. And then I have the one with the sleeves still on it because I need to stay humble sometimes. But awesome shirt. I wish I had the original version, which just said Wanted Dead instead of Wanted Dead or Alive. But that went away after he left ECW, I think. But that's the one that we remember from all the matches with Funk. And he didn't have it in WCW, which I didn't realize until after the fact.
They were the black with the
With
leopard.
the leopard, yeah.
And brought it back in WWE. I remember when he walked out, was it the Madison Square Garden
With
show against
Triple H.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he's got the shirt. And
Yep, he was in full cactus mode. I popped
bang,
huge.
bang.
All right, number 6. The 1995 through 99 version of the Four Horsemen. The one with the horse.
The horse, yeah, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
It's also my ringtone.
Great theme.
Yeah.
Best entrance music in the WCW, if you ask me.
It was, yeah. I got the horse breathing in the beginning, and it was just
Awesome,
great.
Awesome
Yep.
guitar part, Let's see. Number 5, the newest one on the list, I have the Bullet Club, New Japan.
Yeah, I had a couple of those at one point.
Not the original Bullet Club, the one with the white text on it with the skull and the guns and everything.
I'm pretty sure it's the one I got. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you got it from me.
What? No, I got one. You did give me one, but I had 2 already. So I ordered one through Pro Wrestling Tees, and then I did a grab bag. That grab bag happened to be the same shirt. They sent me 2 shirts. I don't know who was running PR up there, or quality QC. Who was running
Quality
It was the
maybe
Bucks.
maybe the QC was being done by the PR, and they thought you should have 2 so you could talk about it on the show.
That's possible.
There you go. But I got the one from Pro Wrestling Tees, but I wanted to get the authentic one like they have, where they have the logo on the sleeve and on the back and on the front. So, but that's probably my favorite shirt of currently in wrestling these days. It just looks cool, and meet a few of those guys in 2 weeks. Also, maybe get them to sign my shirt. We'll have to see.
There you go.
All right, number 4, legendary. I know you don't like the white shirts, Narge, but it's Hot Rod. You gotta.
Yeah.
It's got to be Hot Rod.
I had the black version.
Okay.
When the later,
Not the ringer, but the black
just
shirt.
the black
with
with
the
the red and the orange.
Hot Rod.
But
His best shirts were the white ones. I liked the Hot Rod. I liked the one with the Panther on the
the
front.
Panther one was cool. I like that.
That's the one he wore to WrestleMania 1.
Yep, he sure did.
Yeah.
Tonight's green M&M for those of you listening.
Or brown, which
Or
is what
brown
usually-
M&M, I guess we'll use this week. I'm sorry. Trying to figure out. We're having an audio problem. Something's clicking over here. No, it's in a mic. It's someone's mic. What's your favorite pro wrestling or wrestling related shirt that you own? Take a picture of yourself in it, post it on our wall within the Facebook podcast, or just on our wall directly, or send it to us.
Extra credit for anybody in a Jumping the Rail podcast T-shirt. There's a couple of them floating around.
That's
yep,
right.
They are actually. I'm going to update that. I have all the shipping materials. I said we had it. I just have to get my printer working.
Okay.
And if not, I have to just take it to the post office and do it that way. But everybody that is got a shirt coming, it is.
We'll
still
have
coming.
one coming.
Yes. All right. So moving on, number 3, the old red and yellow Narge.
Sounds like a Hulk shirt to me.
Oh,
The original Hulkamania shirt.
here it is, right here on our little
Well,
our little
he's wearing-
guy. Our
He's
little
wearing the
friend.
yellow one, but the original Hulkamania from like '85.
I don't give a shit. This one should be the one. The yellow.
That's the one.
Oh, I like the red one better.
Nobody what red one?
This coming from a guy who's an obvious fan of the
if
other guy.
If a Hogan T-shirt is getting on the list that's yellow, it's going to be the Hulk Rules shirt.
I know what you're talking about, the red one, but I got to go with him. The yellow is the look to me. The red was a little
But
off.
the way the red shirt offset the yellow underpants,
Well, you know.
or as my wife calls them, panties. Which I
Panties.
have to give her a look.
Oh,
when she
look at
says
Hulk's pantaloons.
that. So there's just the way the red offset the yellow.
Right.
Too much yellow is just cheesy.
Well, I mean, it matched his hair, though.
Well, I didn't disagree with you on this list till now. All right, moving
Moving
on,
on.
brother.
All right, number 2. We saw this guy on Saturday, Narge, and he was wearing the shirt.
Oh yeah,
Austin 316.
We saw him on Sunday, too.
Yeah, wearing the same shirt.
that shirt.
Dude needs a
But
shower.
the original skull on the back.
Yeah,
though.
the original. I've got it at home still. I actually wore that one to WrestleMania 32 because I knew he'd be there. That shirt is the one I remember back in the day knowing it was cool to be a wrestling fan. Didn't matter where you went. You went to the bar, you went to the mall, you went to church. Somebody was wearing an Austin 316 shirt, and you were
So,
like,
Dwayne, you were right. Top 3, number 2.
He's so smart, isn't he?
He is. He's a good guy. He's at the top of the standings for guest host of the year.
But
right.
but if he makes me stop at Taco Bell and the gas station one more time on our way over here, then he's gonna go down the rankings.
did you eat any of those tacos? They were pretty good.
I had a few of them.
Yeah.
I wish you would have got the soft shell, but
Hey.
it is what it is. All right, have I lollygagged enough before we get to number 1?
That's one of those you're clicking there, Mark.
All right, so let's get to our number 1.
Down. That was a terrible.
My soundbite's not working for the drum roll, so thank you, Kyler.
I don't know what
went
happened on
number
that
2.
one.
All right, number 1 is just too sweet, Narge.
Too sweet.
The original black and white NWO shirt from WCW. To me, it was just the coolest one.
And you want to know? Here's a factoid. I've never owned the black and white NWO.
Is that right?
No, I have shorts. I've got.
Yep.
I had the Wolfpack shirt.
You're wearing the Outsiders shorts right now.
Yep. But I had the Wolfpack shirt when it came out.
The red and black.
Yep.
Guy wears Mr. T shorts while he's chilling in the van, and he ain't got the right shirt yet.
If I had them, I would too.
Yeah.
But just got to get you the jacket.
No, I need the black and white NWO shirt. I've got the shorts. They've got Hogan and Pac, and they're really cool looking shorts. But I need that shirt to round out the
finish the ensemble.
I've got
the taking the wife out on a date ensemble.
Right.
I've got
exactly.
So I've got the black and white original shirt. Well, the one WWE put out the last couple of years. I've also got the black and white with the 6-ball on the back.
Oh, the
Waltman.
6-pack, yeah.
And then I've got a red and black somewhere. So I got the Outsider shirt that I was wearing last episode.
Did you ever have the one that just said Outsiders on the front with the red writing?
No, but I've seen that on Amazon. I may have to scoop that up.
Yeah.
Just good stuff. They've made so much. The T-shirts are cool nowadays, but the ones back then were just iconic to me. And
Well, some of the more basic designs are the best ones. I think they overthink it now. I told you one thing I absolutely hate is, well, besides white shirts, is I don't like getting professional wrestling shirts with wrestlers on the front in their
shirtless
tights.
guys. Yeah.
I'm like, where am I going to wear that dude without no shirt on?
Yeah.
You know, and people you see guys like that, and you're like, nah. Now a logo, a word, something.
A caricature of the face.
Yeah,
is fine.
something like that.
But I will say honorable mention was the old Funk You Terry Funk shirt.
Yep, I like that.
The white one though,
The white one.
because that's the one that Funk wore.
Yeah, he's got like 12 versions out there now. I've got 2 different ones at home.
Menders has an Edge and Christian shirt. Is that the yellow one, Menders?
Yeah, with their silhouette on the front doing the pose.
Yeah, something like that. All right, so that's our top 10. We're gonna get out of here in a couple seconds, but first I want to get into what we've got coming up in the next few episodes.
Anything exciting?
I got quite a bit exciting. I'm glad you asked.
All right.
So our next episode in 2 weeks, which is on the date, Marco?
The date 2 weeks from today.
On the 19th.
I believe.
Thank you. On April 19th, we have another guy that has been making a lot of waves in the indies.
It's going to get crazy.
It is going to get crazy. Gringo Loco is going to join us.
What does gringo mean? It means white man, right?
It means crazy white boy, pretty much.
Crazy white boy. That's what we're going to have.
But, yeah, so we're going to talk to him. We're going to mention he ran a show during the collective this past weekend, the World on Lucha show, and he's been getting a lot of attention. We talked with Ninja Mack about that Instagram video that's getting the 3+ million views, which was Gringo giving him a powerbomb off the top rope, which for my money is the coolest finish in independent wrestling right now. Is that Gringo bomb? I don't know if there's a name for it. I'm calling it now. I'm calling it the Gringo bomb, and I hope that sticks. Get Kevin Gill on the phone. Say that's what you need to call from now on.
We didn't ask Ninja Mack why he went from Ninja Fuck Mac to Ninja Kamikaze
No, we
Mac.
didn't get
I would
into
assume that's a PR issue.
That means we got to have him on again.
Going to be tough to get on some of them national TV shows without fucking your name.
It changed all of a sudden, like for real. All the shows he was Ninja Fuck Mac. That's what Kevin said, and then all of a sudden it was. And I remember the first time I heard it, I'm like, what?
Yeah. All right, so we got that coming up in 2 weeks. On the next episode after, on May 3rd, we've got the voice of the NWA, Joe Galley, is going to be joining us.
Nice.
Which I think will be cool. Get a cool perspective on the NWA.
Thank God it's him and not his co-host.
Now, what's wrong with Tim Storm?
No, I like him. He looks all right, too. It's the other
now,
one.
Now, remember, we can't say anything bad about the announced team until he comes on.
You guys are going to have to mute me on that.
But no, I
kid.
That's going to be fun. Hopefully he's wearing his nifty blue NWA blazer.
Yeah.
Which really is awesome that they have the matching blazers on the announced team.
While he's on the podcast where we don't have pictures running.
That's not important.
Well, you know,
Why
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Quibble?
We're going to be in the middle of interviewing this guy, and Mark is literally go, hey, what are you wearing?
Let's not quibble over details, Marco.
I'm going to ask him now.
All right, so that's on May 3rd. On May 17th. Thank you. We got the greatest enhancement talent of all time, Narge.
The man that Bret Hart
I got a guy called Viagra?
The man that Bret Hart said should be in the Hall of Fame before Goldberg.
I don't care if he's kidding or not. That's a soundbite. We're gonna ask him about it.
We have to. Yep.
The Mr. Pat on the back himself, Barry Horowitz, is going to be joining us, and I think we're going to have Keith Gibson in studio for that one.
Yeah, KG's going to come over and throw down. And is Barry Horowitz your first or second favorite Jewish wrestler of all time?
I would say, well, I wouldn't say first because he's coming on.
Yeah.
But him and Cabana are neck and neck.
I forgot about him.
Coco?
I was talking about the other guy
Colt Cabana.
I was talking about the other guy that's better than
Oldberg.
both of them, and you know it.
Oldberg.
No.
Oh,
I'm talking about
MJF.
Maxwell. Come on.
Oh,
Now, he's working his way there.
he's
now.
working his way up. He's
Barry
still-
Horowitz was kind of the first guy to do that, though. He came
Yeah.
out with the Star of David on his tights. And,
Came out to Havana Gila was his entrance
yeah,
music.
that's right. So,
So we got that, and then May 31st, I got it by myself, Marco.
yes.
We have the 0-1 USA Heavyweight Champion Camaro Jackson going to be calling in, talking with us, which is actually really cool.
We'll need Mindy to
Yeah,
kinda
maybe
zoom
Menders,
in.
maybe have Menders call in and help us out with that.
Maybe have
one.
Menders drive our ass up here. Speaking
is a
of,
long
Menders,
drive, though.
Menders did mention earlier, 01 has an event on April 30th. If I remember what she said it way back in the scroll, but we got into the interview period there. Menders, if you don't mind tagging us with the event info in the stream here, we'll make sure to push it out on the Facebook for everybody to see, because that is a local to us event.
I got it.
Where we go.
It's going to be April 30th from the Burgess Osborne Auditorium. That's in Mattoon, Illinois. 01 live pro wrestling. So they've got some matches announced on there. Trying to see. Let's see.
531.
Yeah, so that's April 30th.
And when is that wrestling thing going on here at the Assembly Hall?
That is June 4th. It's going to be at the State Farm Center. They're billing it as Saturday night's main event, but it's a house show.
Yeah, there were a lot of folks in the comments confused. Somebody's like, I'm not coming if they're taping it for TV because it'll be boring. But so the confusion there, Mark, is years ago, NBC used to run something called Saturday Night's Main Event. And it'd be a WWE, kind of a premium show they'd put on live cable television. Well, that's what they're calling this tour, essentially. It's kind of a Saturday Night's Main Event. They're not taping it for TV. It's just a regular. It's a house, like what we went to. It's
a house show, right?
Not only that day, there's another place local to us called Bricks and Ivy Sports up in Hoopeston, Illinois.
Right.
And there
Doing a
you're
good
going to
job.
have two WWE Hall of Famers, The Godfather and Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam, both.
RVD.
Friend of Alfonso.
Yeah, friends of Bill. Shout out to Bill Alfonso, who called and wished me a happy birthday last Friday. I don't remember it, Bill, but I heard
That's
you
awesome.
did. And then he sent a cool photo, and it was very cool of him to give me a call and shout out. No, actually, I do remember it, but that was cool.
That's the
one of our
last
guests.
thing he remembers.
Yeah, pretty much, Daddy.
Indeed. Yeah, that was cool. We got to talk to him for a few minutes. We had to go into the parking lot of the bar we were at because we couldn't hear otherwise.
Damn, bars are so loud.
Mark, you're heading to the Squared Circle Expo in a couple of weeks.
I
For
am.
anybody that doesn't know about that, that's over in Indianapolis. Who
Yeah.
you looking forward to meeting? I know the Steiner brothers. Is there anybody else that
Steiner Brothers are at the top of the list. They just announced today the Blue Meanie's going to be
You
there.
mean
saw that?
WWE Hall of Famers, the Steiner brothers.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes. And I've got a WCW tag team title that needs their John Hancock. We've got a WCW world
That's
title.
Herbie.
Herbie Hancock. That's right. Thank you, Tommy. But no, he's going to be there. Shane Douglas is going to be there, which I'm looking forward to. Sabu, I believe, has been announced. The Acolytes, Bradshaw and Ron Simmons. Steamboat, Ricky Steamboat, who I met before, but again, big gold belt I need a signature on. Plus, he's, out of all the wrestlers I've met in my lifetime, he's probably the nicest that I've met.
He was very cool. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Danhausen will be there.
Danhausen will be there. He's definitely at the top of my list.
Friend of the show, John Mayer, will actually. So if you're out and about at the show, our friend who calls in here, John Mayer, supposed to be working kind of a security assistant detail with
Right.
Danhausen, and his wife's going to be with Egon.
All Ethan Egon Page. And then, then some of the AEW names. I know Sammy Guevara is going to be there.
Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole, Bebe, Britt Baker. So a lot of great names are going to be there. I'm looking forward to it. We'll get some pictures and they'll go up on the Jumping the Rail page. Maybe I can, if I got enough, I'm going to try to hand out a shitload of koozies when I'm there and get the name out.
There you go. Yeah, just walking around. You got to give them to the stars.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, there you go. Not other wrestling nerds like us. We don't need that stuff.
But I don't know. Maybe I'll take the flag with me and have everybody hold up the
Drape
flag.
it around your shoulders
wear
like
it
you're
like a
important.
cape.
Well, I'll be wearing the T-shirt.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then
You'll be a Jefe Gringo logo.
one day I'm wearing the Jumping Rail T-shirt. The next day I think my wife said she's going to wear hers. So either way, we'll be out.
After she bedazzles it.
After she
I was
bedazzles
told.
it,
Yes.
there will be bedazzling to be done. on
Wow.
that
So it's going to be a 1992 style shirt.
I haven't told her yet, but I think it'd be awesome if people order our T-shirt and they want it bedazzled. They'd have to cost extra, but do it for the ladies.
The Rhinestone Redmond special. That's what.
There you go.
Yeah.
I see a comment from Enders. What does that say? Matt Fitchett, the
This is
gunslinger.
Matt Fitchett, the gunslinger, versus
Okay.
the powder keg, Jimmy Carrot.
Is that the main event, Enders?
I think so. I just saw that picture on that's 01 is what she's talking
Right.
about, folks. And yeah, that is for their World Junior Heavyweight Champion. Jimmy
Very
Carrot's
nice.
the champion against Matt Fitchett. Marvin and Kyle Piper versus the Outcast. Those are the only matches I see so far that are. Oh no, Shaza McKenzie versus Chelsea Durden. I see a lot of Shaza on Twitter quite a bit. Country Air versus the Premier. And
Nice.
that's all we have got.
The Premier, who was 2/3 of the stable with the aforementioned Camaro Jackson.
Well, there
So
you go. It all ties together.
it all ties
man.
together.
I've got to get out of here, though. I just got
Yeah.
a picture from my wife. My little boy's at home. He's got a WrestleMania match going right now. It looks like we got The Rock and Rey Mysterio going at it on my living room floor. So I got to get home and let him know they're both a couple of scrubs. I got to bring out Toy Vader.
All right. Well, I think that's a good time to say goodbye. So until next episode with Gringo Loco, I'm Redmond. We got Narge, Kyler. Thanks for joining us again this time. Remember to check out Kyler on the Narge-tastic Voyage on YouTube. It's the second best unboxing video series on the Jumping the Rail network. I'm kidding. I'm still looking for second place.
He can unbox a Hershey bar better than you can unbox a box of stuff.
He can also form a sentence better than you can.
I can't form anything right now. I haven't drank either.
That's true.
Don't forget to say
Near
your,
beers don't count.
don't forget to say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and look at your study guide for math.
And freak out. Oh, I haven't done my Danhausen impression yet today. It's been a regular occurrence. Oh yes.
Very nice.
So
Sorry about it. Very late.
So for Marco and everybody, have a very nice, very evil 2 weeks until the next episode. Later.